everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Uncensored Anime Podcast, a podcast where we talk about all things anime uncensored. And we are your hosts.
What's up, everybody? Oh,
God damn it.
He got him.
He got him. I was going to say that, but
What's
fuck
up,
me,
everybody?
What's up, everybody?
What's up?
We are your
Hey,
hosts.
catchphrase.
I'm David. We got Kenny. We got Jerry. This is episode 64, and we are back at the beginning of another kind of weak anime season, summer 2022. And we are going to be, in this episode, talking about first episode impressions of 12 anime shows. It's going to be a long one, like they always are. So, Jerry, anything to say before we get started?
All I'm going to say is that as of this season, Kenny, David, and I have now done first impressions for over 100 different anime. So if you go back through our backlog of doing our seasonal first impressions, this season now puts us over 100 shows, which is pretty awesome. So, I mean, it's just interesting. We started doing this in the fall of 2020, and we thought it would be fun to pick out 13 new shows that didn't have adaptations prior to. We thought, oh, this would be a really great experiment and see what happens that comes from it. And we've now maintained that every single season since. So, all of 2021 after fall of 2020, and then now the 2 seasons that have happened in 2022. So this is super cool and a super big deal just to be over 100 different shows that we've done first impressions for. I bet if you were to look at how many of those shows I finished, it's probably like less than 6. So
what's your hit rate? What's your
I bet it's like
rate
less.
of all the
I bet
shows
it's
you
like
targeted?
less than 6. I bet it's like off the top of my head. I finished Odd Taxi and Spy Family.
Right.
That's
right.
all I can remember. Oh, Akudama Drive. I finished that.
You finished Dance Dance Dancer?
No, not yet. I still haven't finished it.
Oh,
We were just talking about that last week. Didn't finish it. What
Well,
else did I finish?
that
I
was
pretty
a
much
big guy.
I finished like one show per.
Oh, you finished I'm Standing on a Million Lives, right?
Yeah, you finished
job?
that one.
I haven't even thought about that
Yeah.
show since we watched the first episode. That's how bad it was. Jujutsu Kaisen was actually in the very first season we did this for.
Oh, yeah,
And I
yeah.
did
That is
finish
true.
that, obviously. So that's kind of
But
cool.
that's kind of like a bullshit cop out. I gotta be honest.
Okay. Okay.
I'm just,
It's kind of like a bullshit.
The reaction.
Hey, as the anime gatekeeper, I think that's sort of as my place now. I think I fully
Kenny,
determined.
wow. Okay,
JJK
yeah. So
does not count.
Kenny's the anime gatekeeper.
I'm the anime gatekeeper.
Okay.
Welcome to my gates. I'm here to keep them.
Yeah, sure. Keep them sealed, buddy. So that is exactly what we're doing today. So here's kind of the unfortunate part is that generally we do 13 new shows. It's in order to mimic a standard anime core. So we watch about one season's worth of content across 13 new shows. Genuinely, we struggled to pick the shows for this season. A lot of the shows have delayed start times, so they're not starting for 1, 2, 3 more weeks. Some of them, like Uncle from Another World, they're not getting their official release. I know that if you have fan subtitles, you can actually already watch it already. Not getting their official release until 2 weeks after their start date. So as of this release date, we had a lot of shows that we kind of had to push back, change around. I think even the list that we announced last week had 2 or 3 changes just from that list to this list. So, yeah, this is a bit tough. So definitely check the timestamps down below to see what the 13 Jesus. Because it was so hard, we only did 12 shows. So and honestly, I feel like we're kind of making up for it because like one season we did like 15. So
15
this
was
is like
wild.
this is like the
Too
flip.
many.
Yeah, so now we're doing 12. We only were able to pick. There were only really 12 that we want to do, and that's mainly because there were also shows like Tokyo Mew Mew New, which is like a reboot of Tokyo Mew Mew, and another one that one of our followers suggested, Joseph, Luminous Witches, which is like a spin-off. It's not even really a spin-off, but it's like set in the same like universe world of like all the Strike Witches series or something like that. Futo PI, which is one we actually originally said we were going to do, I've come to find out is actually a sequel to a live-action Kamen Rider show, which makes it even weirder for people to try to get into. So you would have had to watch Kamen Rider Double, I think is what it is, but it's the letter W, in order to understand Futo PI. And so people might still be looking for... Futo PI is still going to stream on Crunchyroll in like 2 weeks. And I think you can jump into it without having a lot of Kamen Rider knowledge. But that is it's a literal manga and anime sequel to the Kamen Rider show. Which is like, there's so many weird things going on. So we have 12 shows, and Kenny has 11 shows. That's something you're going to learn later. Kenny has 11 shows, so...
Well, as the anime gatekeeper, I must maintain the gates. Okay?
Yeah, Kenny was actually too busy maintaining the gates.
Sometimes forget the gates, too.
Sometimes
The gates are
he
forgotten.
missed a show on the list.
Gates were closed. Yeah, the gates were closed. I just,
So David and I are going to give you our first impressions of 12 new anime, just like we do every season. We're really excited.
Wait,
to
does
do
that
this
mean
season,
does that mean I'll be short one? I'll be 99 shows reviewed now?
No, we have like 104 as of this season. So
damn.
Yeah.
I
also didn't count that one season that was 15. I just did like 13 each. And so
what the hell?
we probably have more like 107 or something, but 106, something like that.
But still, 100.
Over 100?
Right
over 100, yeah. This season just bumps us over 100 is what happened. So
we didn't do anything for the 69th one.
Yeah,
we should watch the hentai on
when we make it to 420, then we're going to do...
well, a hentai.
We'll have like a hentai review.
A hentai review. The 420th review on our...
For those of you who are new here to the Uncensored Anime Podcast, if for some reason this is your first episode joining us, we have a very in-depth review process for first impressions. So, unlike
the most important first part is that Jerry will over-explain what thumbs up and thumbs down is. And that's important.
I was kidding this whole time. I was just waiting for it. I was just
ready for the thumbs to be explained. Up good, down bad. That's what I gotta tell you. Up good, down bad.
Okay, so unlike a full show review.
Oh, he's gonna resume.
Unlike a full show review, we can't give these scores out of 10 because that would be, we haven't watched enough. We've only seen the very first episode of each of these shows. So we have to do something else, which is, do we want to keep watching it or do we not want to keep watching it? Or do we kind of want to keep watching it? So we've developed a very integral system to the Uncensored Anime Podcast. A thumbs up means that we are interested in continuing the show. A thumbs down means that we are going to drop the show after one episode. And a side thumbs means we'd like to try a couple more episodes before making a decision. That's all it is. It's a very, very intimate ranking score system.
Wait, Jerry. I'm sorry, that was too fast. What does thumbs up mean?
Okay, let me run it back. So thumbs up means we like show. Thumbs down means we don't like show. Thumbs sideways mean we kind of like it. Pretty solid ranking system.
And let me tell you, there's some
holy shit.
There's some clunkers this season, man.
Summer 2022 is the most like buckled up.
Summer
season.
just has a rep for just like it's like the season no one puts any good anime out. Because I think the last 2 years it's been bad.
Maybe so.
Well, summer 2020 had Rent a Girlfriend season 1, I think. And I think that was the only big hit from that season. And that we actually started the podcast
we didn't start till the fall.
Yeah, we were already doing episodes at that point, but we weren't like talking about the seasonals yet.
Yeah.
And so then that fall we jumped into that. So, but for sure, summer 2021 was a rough season for all of us, to be honest. And now we're back again, summer 2022, and it is just as rough as what it feels like. So we're not going to waste any more time. We're here for this. We're going to give you guys some awesome, and be warned, we're probably going to spoil what happens in the first episode of each of these shows. So if you do want to, check the timestamps down below, go watch the first episode of these shows, and then feel free to skip ahead and listen to our first impressions of just that show, or come back after you've watched all 12 and listen through to the whole episode and check out all 12 of the shows that we watch, because this is just a fun way to learn about a new show. So again, one of the big prerequisites here is that none of these shows have been turned into anime before. This is their first time, and generally it's their first, for a lot of these, it's their original animes, their first adaptations of a manga or light novel. So that's really exciting. So we always make sure to pick shows that are new. Like there's something that if you are a newbie to anime, you could watch these first impressions, get a good idea of some shows you might want to try, and go jump into some new shows that are brand new. So let's get into it. David, you're first, buddy.
All right. So the first of the 12 shows that we're going to talk about in today's episode, Jesus, is called My Isekai Life, which is short for My Isekai Life. I gained a second character class and became the strongest sage in the world. Which, from that title alone, you might have guessed, yes, it's an isekai. Some details behind the show. It was originally a light novel, adapted to be a manga. It's wild. There's like 10 light novel volumes and 16 manga volumes. So this has been going for a long time. And I think there was a lot of hype, a lot of anticipation building up for this anime before it was released in the anime community.
Yeah.
So in this first episode, like with all typical isekais, we kind of get some backstory of the person in normal real life world was a drone worker and they hate their job. They're like, man, this sucks. And then I can't remember how they die, or I don't even know if they show it in the episode, but they get isekai'd into this fantasy world, and it has a lot of pretty heavy video game elements. Not a really, like, as far as plot goes, not a whole lot happens in this episode. We're kind of just introduced to, oh, there's monsters afoot, and we see the main character. His name is Yuji, and we quickly kind of get the understanding that he has the ability to tame monsters, and specifically he can control slimes, which his slimes can do different abilities. I think the main thing that we saw is that they can like communicate with other slimes from far away. They can absorb items. Basically, they can be like his like virtual backpack or whatever. And like again, nothing really happens in this episode. So we see monsters and he's fighting the monsters. There's like only one really cool scene that I thought was interesting, was that there was like a part where he's like magic or whatever, and there's like multiple screens that pop up, and he has like his choice of what kind of like element of magic he wants to use. And I was like, oh shit, this is actually pretty cool. And I think he uses a spell. I don't even remember what happened after that. And then he fights the monsters, and then that's like all that happens in the first episode.
Yeah.
So, did you guys like it? Because honestly, one other thing I do want to comment is I could be misremembering, but while watching this show, like the animation was like pretty choppy. It was pretty. It just looked kind of low budget. But whenever
it was pretty garbage, to be honest.
Yeah, but whenever like the magic spells appeared, like it kind of amped up in terms of quality. But that was just like for a few seconds of the entire show. So, and then like a lot of still shots, a lot of pan shots. So pretty, I guess, disappointing, because like from the anticipation, it looked like this show had a lot of potential. It maybe gets better further down the road, but this first episode kind of fucking sucked. So
yeah,
what do you guys think?
This was the most copy paste hot garbage I've ever seen in the world. Like they literally just like I swear that these isekais are being created by like a Mad Libs generator or something at this point.
Mad Libs style, yeah.
I just don't know how else you could, like, I can't imagine a human being sitting down and being like, oh yeah, this is good. I'm writing something good right now. I'm doing it right now.
He's dual classed tamer and sage.
This made me think like this is like the Squidbillies of anime right now. There are human beings beings that got paid to go to work every day and work on this show. This was their job. And they might still be work. There are voice actors, animators, fucking storyboarders, writer, all these fucking people that have their job, and their job was to read the My Isekai Life manga and light novel and adapt it into an animated television show. And this is the product they created. This is it. This is the show that came out. This is the show that came out. The slimes? What the fuck? Why? Okay.
Yeah. So one thing real quick I forgot to mention, this show is being animated by Revoroot Studio, which they did I've Been Killing Slimes for 300 Years, which I think came out last summer.
But was slightly better.
It was last spring.
Much better animated, in my opinion, honestly.
Slime was slightly better animated,
cute.
yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of cute. More of an style. Yeah, this was like... Yeah. This is like, you know those how to draw manga books that you can find at like Barnes & Noble? This looks like those motherfuckers. Those dudes, they made this show. I hated this show. This was the worst waste of 20 minutes of my entire life. There's no reason for this show to exist. And I can't be convinced otherwise.
I think I watched this one first.
Oh, Kenny.
Oh.
That's a bad...
Kenny knew this was going to be the worst one, so he just got it out of the way.
Yeah.
Yep. I think it also was out first. It already has episode like 4 out, right?
I think like episode 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think at the most everything's been out for like 3 weeks. But yeah, that's My Isekai Life. You guys just want to thumb it?
This show came up. Here's
anything else to add?
Let's just talk about some of the basics here. So art and animation, it was pretty much garbage, to be honest. Like there was a couple quick shots that I kind of liked of animation. For the most part, it looks like canned. It looks like when you go to the store and you purchase a can of pineapples instead of cutting your own pineapple. This is I'm so sorry. This anime is
tonight.
This show's animation is canned pineapples.
They said the similes tonight are very clear. This is like canned pineapple to regular cut pineapple.
Canned pineapple.
Anime.
That's
this
the argument.
Anime.
Pacing wise, this first episode, nothing got done. He literally was just he appeared at this location. They had an acknowledgement that they were being attacked. He saved them from being attacked, and then he like went to sleep. And that was like the first episode.
All in a day's work.
Pacing wise, garbage pace. Why the first episode barely even established? We don't even know much about him, much less any other character. The slimes talked more than him in this goddamn episode. The slimes wouldn't shut the fuck up. And the wolf talked too, didn't it?
His wolf, wolf wouldn't shut the fuck up.
They all talked.
Kept on talking.
And they didn't talk about anything. They just talked about like magic and spells and how do we get past them, master?
Exposition.
Magic spells, things.
What was it? Mega Man.
So pacing was garbage.
Hammer, Joe.
The story and script writing, I mean, I wish I'd written down some of the lines from this episode, but there was shit like, I want to say there was shit that was like as garbage as, we got to do this, you know, we're going to have to fight to win, you know, like, it's going to be a big...
Jerry, what about that one scene when that guy looked at Yuji, he like looked at him, and he like looked at everyone else, is like, let him do it. He can do it.
No, you're right.
Like,
You're right. They were in the castle, and he was like, that guy. That's the guy. That's
Who's
the guy.
Right, he just walked up. He's like, looked him up and down. He's like, he can do it.
Put my faith in him. I mean, the script was cobbled together. I am impressed that there was a book that someone wrote, that someone read that book, and this is the words they lifted off of it. Whatever. I don't know why these keep coming out. And why do they have so much hype behind them? This was like one of the top on the live Annie chart. Yeah. People were excited about this show. There's an excitement. I almost am starting to worry that this is like, it's like cotton candy or something. Like, it's obviously terrible for you. It's really not an enjoyable experience when you put it in your mouth, but the sugar is just so sweet that you keep putting cotton candy in your mouth.
Wait, Jerry, that's a hot as fuck take. I love cotton candy in my mouth.
I think cotton candy tastes delicious, but it's like got that weird, like, it's like fluffy and then it like dissolves. Maybe I want to compare it to a piece of licorice.
No, I think I know. I think I know what you're thinking. I think you're thinking about cocaine.
Yeah, that's the one. I just don't know. Like, people just
cotton candy, cocaine.
Is it just the right hit of like? Do people just keep coming back to these things because it's just like it's just something to have on? Is it just something like the powers are cool? I think that's what it is. I just don't know. I just would never sit down and turn this on my TV and be like, this is what I want to turn on for the time being. And I watch some shitty TV. I watch lots of garbage reality shows and stuff.
Yeah, like American Idol.
I watched all of, what the fuck was that show? Fuckboy Island? I watched the entire season of Fuckboy Island.
But that's actually great content.
I watched every episode of Fuckboy Island. And I just don't, I don't know. I think maybe there's some sort of merit in like the fun of it. But I guess I'm just not the right audience for it. So,
what'd you think of the songs? What'd you think of the songs?
I went through and ranked every opening and ending of this whole season, just so everyone knows. I don't know if Kenny and David did. The opening was stale as fuck, dude. It was animated poorly, and the song, I literally think they like got some guy on the streets of LA to just like make something, and they like took his mixtape, and they were like, "This is it." I'm really filled with It was super stale. The ending song gets an extra so 2 out of 10. Opening song, 2 out of 10. 3 out of 10 for the ending song, only because one slime had a mustache. That is the only reason that I gave that song. 3 out of 10 for the ending because the slime had a mustache. That's my
slime.
Mustache slime. 3 out of 10. I gave it a couple, and he had a top hat. The top hat and the mustache.
Wow.
So, honestly,
I would like a gentlemanly slime as a main character. Like with a cane too.
Probably more interesting than whoever the Yuji, whatever his name was. Fucking.
This was the most terrible waste of space, waste of time. Just pretty much. I mean, I can't say worse things about this show. I hated so many shows this season. I don't know why people keep making these fucking anime. But for some goddamn reason, we just keep making them.
We just keep consuming it. People just keep consuming it, Kitty.
I don't get it.
It's consumed.
I don't get it. Okay?
I'm ready. Let's thumb. Let's move on from this garbage.
Let's thumb it.
Let's thumb it. Thumb it hard.
My Isekai Life in 3. Oh, you got it, David. Shit.
2, 1. Okay, next.
All thumbs down.
That's a thumbs down.
For those of you listening, that was 3 thumbs down from the UAP boys.
Can I tell you guys something really, really head ass? I accidentally watched episode 3 first. I was like, this show makes no goddamn sense. I was like,
You're joking.
why are we like fight like they were fighting like a wave of enemies and like they were catching some guy in the forest and I was like, what the fuck? And then I was like, oh, it was episode 3. So then I went back to episode 1.
Wait, that's like what happened in episode 1 too, though. That's like they're just fighting
honestly,
monsters.
literally the same shit happened.
All right, Kenny, you ready?
Yeah, Kenny, give us 2.
Yep.
So what's the show?
What's the second? What was the second?
All right, so title and some
Yeah,
background.
give us the
Harem in the
David,
Labyrinth.
yeah.
Come on.
Harem in the Labyrinth of Another World, animated by Studio Passione.
Woo!
Passione.
Love them.
Originally a light novel, then adapted into a manga. Now it's adapted into an anime series. Kenny, tell us about Harem in the Labyrinth of Another World.
This fucking goddamn just oh my. This one hurts. This one in particular hurts. This I don't even know. This guy thinks he's inside of a virtual game, and so he just starts like murdering people, murdering some bandits. He sneaks up on them like a bitch too, and kills them from behind.
Yeah, he does.
He
He really
does do
does.
that.
And
He
then it's
does
like,
do
huh?
that.
Video games are weird. That's weird. There's a lot of blood. Weird, huh?
He
And
literally
then
said
he's
something like, "Whoa, that's a lot of blood," or something like that.
Yeah. You're like, whoa, video games are wild.
Blood.
Then you know what you find out? He got isekai'd, but he did still get isekai'd with his like his pay to win items for some reason.
Yeah, he
Like,
like
he had,
woke
like-
up in the barn with like the really good sword.
Yeah, two
Yeah.
like pay to win items.
Yeah,
Like Durandal.
yeah. Even though he was like he looked at his level, he was like level 1 or whatever.
And then not even 10 minutes into the show, all they're talking about is having sex with slave girls,
Yeah.
and that's the entire rest of the episode, pretty much.
Yep.
That's all. Literally, there's like a 15-minute, like just scene about it since it's this world. I mean, it's the rules of the world. I guess I'll have to do it.
Pretty much.
This show was so
You nailed
fucking
it.
bad. I could. I
I don't know if like the censoring was. I'm assuming the censoring was like intended,
What do
but
you mean?
Yeah, was it a joke?
No, there's an
Yeah.
uncensored. There is an uncensored version, but I think they did a good job because the censored version, it's not just Crunchyroll throwing censors on it. It's literally like something the studio made.
okay,
So
that's what I mean. That's what I mean by like intended.
They
like,
made
the studio,
they made
like,
the censored
animated
version
it.
and they made the uncensored version.
Oh, okay, that's
So-
cool.
Essentially, the uncensored or the version we got on Crunchyroll, it's censored, but it was like censored intentionally, which means that they were able to make jokes out of a lot of the
Right.
censoring.
It
which
wasn't like
which was kind of cool.
like World's End Harem where
Yeah.
Crunchyroll went in
And like
did that bullshit.
yeah, or some other shitty. Yeah, this show was the censoring was really comically placed and actually done in like a funny way.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
But there is a version that doesn't have it, but it's just not on Crunchyroll. Oh look, it's Caspi.
Oh, Caspi.
Here's my thing.
He's attacking me.
I don't know. So studio. Oh,
Amber.
not cutting it out. Amber alert.
Do we all just get Amber alerts?
Yep. So here's the thing: Studio Passione, right? They got a lot of flack because they are the company that did Interspecies Reviewers, which essentially, and I think what's happening here is a little bit of that Interspecies Reviewers thing where the manga is really not that graphic, but their version of it adds a lot of graphic nudity, which is kind of exactly what they did with Interspecies Reviewers. This manga is a shonen, I believe, or ran in a shonen magazine, the manga version of it.
Yep.
And so,
Monthly show today.
yeah, so they're definitely upping the aggressive like sexuality of it, which I'm kind of here for. Additionally, I don't know. I think that when you look at art animation, this was a better animated show than most isekais. It looked a little bit cleaner. It had some cleaner lines, some cleaner artwork, some cleaner animation. I also
I can't say that. Yeah, I mean the animation was not bad.
at least the style of the characters didn't look as cookie. Like you could identify characters. You know what I mean? Like especially like the guy that they went and bought from. All the female characters, their designs are at least a little less like bog standard. You know, like you could differentiate. And I don't know why, but the slight twist that at the first half was like a regular ass isekai, and then like the second half, all of a sudden he was just obsessed with this idea of owning
like
a female big tittied wolf woman or whatever. I was like, oh, that's kind of a funny twist. It
was like instantly he was like, oh, actually this is more important.
He was like, oh my god, yeah, I am horny. But so yeah, I don't know why, but that actually kind of gave me a little bit of a chuckle, and I actually found the bleeping of some of the words and phrases to be really funny during that interaction between him and the owner. I thought that was actually like a pretty funny interaction. So props really to the voice actors on that, I think, because they nailed some of that performance. Is this a good show? Probably not. This is going to be.
Oh yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
For me was just.
I'm pretty sure this is going to turn into him just courting a harem of beast women that all are contractually obligated to sleep with him. I'm actually 95% positive that's what this is. But for what it was, I kind of liked it better than some isekais I've had to sit through, because at least it made me laugh, and it got there quick. Like the pacing of the first episode was fast. We got to where we needed to be pretty quickly. And so I was like, I kind of laughed, and I kind of had a good time. And honestly,
I mean,
Beast girls are kind of hot.
Mean girls are hot. Wow,
the girls are hot. Wow, girls are hot. Wow. That I was kind of like, oh shit,
wow.
The girls are kind of hot.
Wow.
but
especially, I mean, there are some waifu winners this season too.
Oof. I want to ask you guys, when you were watching this episode, did you guys think that the like town where he was like taking a nap and stuff, did you feel like they were gonna? I kept feeling like there was like an ominous presence, like
they were
gonna turn on him.
I was like, I don't feel safe for.
They like tried to rob him, and then like he turned the guy into a slave. Like it was all just.
Well, one of the guys did try to rob. Well, they tried to take the bandit's item, but the like older fella that like gave him a house and like was like, all this stuff is yours, and you can have this too. And your points, I kept getting this like, oh Lord, he's gonna kill him. He's gonna entrap him or something. And then no, he just sent him on his way to the next town. So I was
there
like,
was a little bit of unease, I don't know.
I also was surprised by how
I felt that too.
violent it was. Actually, isekais don't generally, they're not really often like that, you know. And isekai doesn't choose to go full violence, full sex like that.
Right.
But Passione seems to have just gone like, fuck it, and just went full.
Yeah,
blood,
except
guts,
there is one that's not an isekai, but kind of does lean into that, you know.
Yeah.
I think you know what it's called.
Yeah, tell me about it.
It's called Goblin Slayer.
Oh, okay. I thought
you were gonna say Vampire Knight.
I thought it was too.
Tricked y'all. What is that?
No, Goblin Slayer does lean into that. You are actually right, Kenny. And
it
did it first. It did it first, and then it actually kind of devolves into just normal fantasy stuff by episode 2 or 3. Yeah. Goblin Slayer's on the isekai. It's technically just fantasy, right?
No, it's
just
fantasy.
a fantasy. Yeah.
But
if you told me the Goblin Slayer guy was isekai, it would not change the show at all.
So for me, Harem though, I didn't hate it as much as I thought it. I'm not saying that this is a show that I would go watch more of, but I guess I just wasn't. This is when I think I texted you guys when I was watching this, and I was like, is isekai kind of like wearing on me? Like, am I like having a midlife? I was like, is something happening to me right now? Because I did not hate it, but it's almost Skeleton Knight kind of did this to me last season, where I was like, well, that was funny enough. Like I wasn't mad at it. My Isekai Life made me genuinely mad. Harem in a Labyrinth of Another World. Harem in a Labyrinth of Another World didn't make me as angry. It just felt better put together. There was a little bit more work put into the script, a little bit more work put into the performances, a little bit more work put into the art and animation. And when that does that, you aren't as mad about it.
I think it's like this. They just polished a piece of shit way better than the other team, unfortunately.
100%.
They polished it really, really well. It looks beautiful.
They added good jokes. I mean, they added bloops and boops and way more like nicely animated titties. And I mean, honestly, like it's just enough to make just about anyone go like, okay, I can go home.
Yeah. It's like, the plot's terrible. But
What about you, David? David, we've been talking. Kenny and I have been going back.
No,
and forth. How you feel about
mean,
Harem?
Well,
I
David,
share
what do you-
I
David's
share all the
gotta give it
sentiments. I recently watched it. I watched this earlier today, and
Oh, yeah.
I enjoyed it. I think
I
there
thought
was
you
like
would
a
like the
scene
video game
where-
elements. There was actually kind of a lot of video game elements this one.
there were a bit.
He like
It
scanned
wa-
thing. There were item levels. There were.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was very like it was very surface level like
Yeah.
video game elements. They were like it didn't really go like really deep into them
Yeah.
like from a Spider or a Shield Hero does. Right. I'm sure it will later on, but I just think it's just going to go really heavy into like the whole harem element.
Yeah,
and it's basically Pokemon but hot animal girls.
Hot animal girls. Yeah, that's like exactly what it is.
Wait, pause. You don't fuck your Pokemon, David. What are you saying?
Okay, so
What's going on? Wait a second.
Markiplier fucks
wait.
his Pokemon.
Did he?
Markiplier fucks his
Rated them all.
Pokemon.
Rated them
Markiplier
all.
fucks his
But there was-
Pokemon.
there
What
was a
was
scene
Bidoof
where
rating?
wait, what?
Gotta look it up.
Bidoof?
Go look it
They
up.
do-
I don't remember what
No.
he put. I think there's a website that went through every Pokemon and like put whether or not Markiplier would fuck it. Like someone did the video and like put it on a website so you can actually look it up. Like Google would
That's
Markiplier
funny.
fuck Bidoof and I think it'll come up.
That's actually hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, David, it seems like you and Markiplier are, thick as thieves.
We have a lot in common.
Thick as thieves, baby. Thick as thieves.
Thick as thieves.
Oh, Jerry, what'd you think of the opening and ending songs? I think was it
For
just
me,
an ending song for episode 1?
Yeah, but I went to
Which
episode 2.
I think is the
I checked.
opening.
Every show has an opening and ending that you could check because there was enough episodes out.
Oh, so you just checked them. Okay.
Yeah, I just went and watched them just in case. But I think you're right. Episode 1 didn't have an opening, but it played at the end. But then episode 2, it played both. To me, the opening was literally mid. It was a 5 out of 10. It was okay. It was well animated enough. And I think that's Passioni's doing. And the music was literally... The one thing I noticed with this season, a lot of the music is like this weird... It's almost like... You all know Nightcore? Like Nightcore music?
Yeah.
A lot of the openings and endings have this like layered female vocal that they like tuned way up. It's been pitched up. This one had it. It had this like pitched up, vocals. So I just gave it a 5 out of 10. The ending, on the other hand, actually kind of brought me down a little bit, and it's kind of Crunchyroll's fault. It's because the ending is literally the MC and the owner of the slave.
Oh yeah,
They're like talking back.
Bad.
It's not really a song. It's more of just like music as they like talk back and forth. The issue is that Crunchyroll didn't subtitle it.
Yeah,
so
they
like
didn't
whatever the joke
translate
is
it.
or whatever the conversation is happening on the song, but that's the same song. It plays on each episode. So that's like it is a song technically, but it's more of just like a talk over music. And so for me, that kind of brought it down. But I did feel like it was kind of groovy. There, like, even though it was like a conversation, it was like no, and I don't know, there was something kind of groovy about that, so I gave it a 4 out of 10. So brought me down a little bit, brought a little bit worse than the opening for it, but I was kind of digging that it was something unique. At least they tried something. That made me go, okay, but I don't know.
Right.
Other than that, how we feeling about the show, guys? Oh, thumbs it, Kenny, count us down. Oh, or not? This is a down thumb for me.
David, what's going on, bro?
It's his first one. He
Guys,
wants to try it.
I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna watch maybe like a couple of them. I'm gonna try it. It seems interesting.
Down thumb for Kenny and I. Sideways.
I'm a
thumb for
nasty
David.
man. What can I say? I think it's interesting.
Yeah.
And girls are hot. Wow. So
Girls are hot. Wow. Honestly,
you ready?
yeah. I would actually kind of like to watch the uncensored version, which sadly is not available legally. So, but I would actually kind of like to maybe go back and watch a couple more episodes, but do the uncensored one. But okay.
Yeah.
What's next, David?
All right, Jerry, you're going to be talking about Shine On Bakumatsu Bad Boys. And this is an original anime series animated by Geno Studio. And that's it.
I actually think I know the plot to this one. I believe this one is about Yuki Cross.
Fuck me. I knew he was going to do it.
The
Guys,
Cross
Kenny didn't
Academy?
watch this show, so he's trying to deflect. With
No, this is the Vampire Night podcast. Where we talk about Vampire Night here. We love Yuki Cross. We love Zero Kiryu.
Okay, quickly.
We love the other guy.
On the topic of Vampire Night, did you guys see that Prom? He went to Half Price Books. He bought a bunch of stuff, and he bought a motherfucking Vampire Night art book after he was on the show with the Prom G himself. After he actually bought a Vampire Night art book, which cracked me up because when he was on here, he mentioned that he had heard of it, but he had never read it or anything. So why did he must have, like, all I can think is he must have bought it because we talked about it. So
Vampire Knight, bro.
Prom was like,
It's
fuck, Vampire Knight,
something
that
else.
shit's hard.
Dope.
Shine on Bakumatsu
You-
Bad Boys. Geno Studio. I actually don't know what else they've done, David. Did they have any
Yeah. So
any notable credits?
So what the fuck? Google. So they have done Golden Kamui.
Oh, cool. Okay,
That's
cool.
really it.
I like
the
that
Golden
show.
Kamui, Pet, and Kokoku Moment by Moment, but I don't know what Pet or
Cool.
that other one is.
So Shine on Bakumatsu Bad Boys is an interesting one. Like David said, it's an anime original. It's written. This is actually the guy's first show that he's ever written. The guy who wrote it, and he's writing and directing it. He comes off of directing a lot of different shows. I think he worked on. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head, but I know he worked on like an episode of Attack on Titan. He's Noragami. He's done some art and directing for a lot of different popular shows.
He's been staffed in a lot of shit.
Yeah, he's done a lot of shows, but this is his first project that he's writing, which I thought was interesting. And he hired Hiroyuki Takei, the creator of Shaman King, to come in and do all of the character designs. So Shine on Bakumatsu Bad Boy is going to look a lot like a Takei project because all the designs are by him. But also interestingly, one of the people who is tasked with turning Takei's designs into animation is a previous animator from Studio Ghibli who worked on films like Spirited Away and pretty much everything since Spirited Away. So Ponyo, Wind Rises, Arrietty, a lot of stuff over at Ghibli. So a very interesting combination of staffing for this series for what essentially is a... So what Bakumatsu Bad Boys is essentially there's a group of people. They were all scheduled for execution. Instead, after putting the mask over their head, they wake up or are pulled the bag off and offered the opportunity to take the spot of the Shinsengumi, which is essentially like the patrolling samurai police force in this town. And each of them has like a standard backstory, something that kind of got them to this point. With each of them also taking on sort of a role on the team. One's like the psycho doctor, one's like the samurai guy, one's like the big guy, you know. So they all kind of have these different roles.
You know, the big guy.
No, Kenny,
That's
I wish
literally-
I was lying, but one of the guys is
Big
like
guy.
that's like his thing. He's like the fat guy. He eats a lot of food.
Yeah.
That's like his.
Oh my god.
So they have these sort of like archetypes. It kind of reminded me of Akudama Drive, and that's the same thing.
Yeah.
These are kind of like criminals. They're almost like a Suicide Squad, as they were kind of essentially told, "Hey, if you don't do this, we're just going to kill you anyway." So the first episode, they kind of go out to patrol. They stumble upon a guy who's slashing people up. Turns out he had the sort of cursed possessed sword, and then our main character pulls out the like sword of legend, which is something he was given by the leader of the Shinsengumi at the very beginning, and he chops him down. And our lead character is searching for the samurai with the mask that murdered his family, which is all of this pretty standard anime fare. Honestly, it's kind of just standard storytelling fare. You've got like an orphaned main character. You've got some archetypal side characters. There's now this group of people who are going to be working and doing stuff together. My guess is that most of the storytelling is going to happen in that different groups of them are going to have to go off on different little adventures and do stuff. That's kind of what you get from this first episode, because they even break up into teams in the first episode to patrol. But yeah, that is the basic line. I mean, think like Samurai Power
Pretty
Rangers.
standard story.
They even have like colors assigned to them, so they're almost like Samurai Power Rangers, and they Samurai Suicide Squad, whatever you want to call it. So it's kind of like a combination of a lot of elements that kind of brought this little thing together. So guys, thoughts on
Fight animation was pretty well, David, because
yeah,
he didn't watch
David.
But I really liked this show, and one of the things that stood out to me was it didn't really happen a lot in this first episode, but there was times when the samurai were like sparring with each other, and we got a glimpse of like the fight animation.
Oh yeah,
and animation was pretty crisp. I thought it was really cool.
This
thought
is
it
a
was really
great
well done.
team. I mean, honestly, looking at it, this is just a great team. It made me wish that the new Shaman King anime looked like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like when you're seeing the way that they brought Takei's
It
design
had like
to
a
life,
classic look to it, like a classic Japanese art.
really a
type of
good look to it. Yeah, I really liked it. Almost Wano-esque, the way they're kind of doing the animation in Wano for One Piece. So, David, anything else about the?
I mean, you gave a pretty good description of it. I mean, it's just like a basic like revenge story for our main character.
Yeah.
Basically old time Japanese samurai Suicide Squad. Why was that guy crying though? His like eye. So like
my guess is that based off just basic, like some of the storytelling elements. I think whoever owned the sword previously, must have been like his master or like someone he had a deep connection with, and he sees some sort of something in this in the new guy. You know what I mean? There's like it's some sort of like a personal connection to it. Also, if you can't tell, the main guy has a missing hand or
and
arm.
a missing leg.
Yeah. So I think that maybe he got into some sort of big battle where his master was killed. This is I'm guessing. Just
well, yeah, they
clues.
show it. They show it because they show us a glimpse of.
Yeah.
I can't remember the guy's name, but the
leader of the
like
Shinsengumi.
He's like an officer or whatever.
Yeah.
And we see like a flashback to when the Shinsengumi, or the original Shinsengumi, were slaughtered.
Yeah, and he mentions they were all killed. Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. And so these samurai, the Suicide Squad is like their substitutes for the old Shinsengumi.
Yeah.
And so they're like reborn to be renamed as what the original Shinsengumi were.
Yes.
So, but yeah, I mean, overall, I like the show. I didn't know it was an original, but honestly, looking back, this show kind of gave me original vibes.
Yeah. Because it's an original, it always has a little bit more, it can pace itself. And I think that's one benefit like or anime originals I've seen from watching a lot of them lately, is that they just have more space to just do what they want to do in the time they want to do it. So this first episode felt really well paced because they didn't have to worry about adaptation or contract. They were able to go ahead and give us, okay, here's the characters, here's the setup, here's a couple character building moments. Because when they were wandering around town, I love the moment the big guy ate the food. We kind of got a good idea of who the
big guy.
Kenny, I wish I was lying. He walks over to a cart. He grabs all the food in one hand.
He
sticks
like
all in his mouth.
Like 12 items.
There's like a Junkrat. It's like Roadhog and Junkrat at this point. There's like there's like a guy who's like a bomber trapper type, who like hangs out around him,
like
but he's also like a thief. So like he like steals some guy's wallet, and the leader's like, "Don't steal wallets," and he's like, "You're right."
Similar to that show, that just got nominated for an Emmy, that anime, Arcane.
God damn it!
Oh, Jinx from Arcane.
I guess the thing about Bakumatsu Bad Boys is that, at initial look, this definitely feels like one of those shows that is. It falls into a lot of tropes, a lot of archetypes. You're getting a lot of that, but that doesn't always mean that the show is going to be too bad. It was nice and lighthearted. It took itself seriously when it needed to. The vocal performances, the animation, the artwork, all of that was really quite impressive. And it definitely could serve as an entertaining show with a nice little heart to it, because every character in the series has like a personal goal or reason to keep fighting. And I think that kind of sets up a nice little thing, especially the leader of the Shinsengumi, who, had his whole group murdered, and essentially him almost injured to death too. There's some nice theming present that is just simple, basic theming, but could still provide for a pretty fun show, especially if they have fun with it and they don't take itself too ridiculously out of left field or mess with the play. It literally kind of reminds me of Akudama Drive. Set up similar archetypes, and pretty much, other than sticking the landing, which Akudama did not, most of Akudama Drive was a really enjoyable ride because
that is true.
Because the show just knew what it was. It was able to play with the archetypes, do something new with them a little bit, and give us a nice little narrative with it. So if Bakumatsu can do the same thing, I think this could actually be not a hit, but definitely one of those shows people could end up enjoying. So that's my final thoughts.
Yep. And I feel like all anime originals, they do that thing in the very first episode where they do like a PowerPoint of introducing all the primary characters.
Yeah.
Because Akudama Drive did that.
Yeah.
I don't remember if Odd Taxi did that.
Odd Taxi was a much stronger narrative.
It was right. It was much more. Yeah. It was much more like plot, story driven. But yeah. I'm excited. I think all the character designs are really cool. It looks like it's just going to be nothing too deep.
Yeah.
In terms of like plot, it looks like it's just going to be classic revenge story. It'll be a lot of cool action scenes. So yeah, I'm down for more of this show.
I like that he fights like Sanji.
He
was kicking. He was like standing on his hands and kicking and shit like Sanji.
Yeah. He's like fuck swords. I want to be a samurai that doesn't use. So I'm gonna just kick.
He's like, I'm gonna kick like Sanji.
Did he say that? Is that for real?
Like Sanji.
No, but he does kick though. He doesn't.
Yeah, he does kick.
He does say he doesn't want to use swords. Like,
he's like I hate swords. Yeah.
What the hell?
He has like a
he's
thing.
I'll use them if I have to. Yeah. the whole reason why he joined the Shinsengumi, like all the characters have their own like motivations to join the Shinsengumi.
Yeah.
But our main character, he just did it because he wants to get revenge for his family being murdered.
Damn.
Okay.
At least okay. Thumbs up.
Kenny?
Thumbs down.
Yeah, I guess Kenny can't. So 3, 2, 1. David went up. I went sideways. I don't know if I'll watch it as it comes out. Maybe I'll binge it. I don't know. Kind of want to see where it goes, but I'll watch a couple.
I'm interested in seeing where this show goes. So.
Oh, and I've almost forgot. I really liked the opening to this song, to the show.
Oh, the music!
I gave this one
the music opening ending slaps.
I gave this one an 8 out of 10 for the opening. I thought it was pretty much close to perfect. It was really great because it shows the characters. We have some great new animation. It was just a really good song. It really felt like an Annie song, like one of those classic, like nice sort of rock vocals that you get from an Annie song. There's some clip showiness to it, but it was still a really good opening. Thought the ending was not as good. The video was just sort of like landscapes it was like real life landscapes with like neon lights of the characters appearing on it. It's kind of a weird, the video was weird, but the song was really good. So it got points for me. So 4 out of 10 for the ending, but definitely 8 out of 10 for the opening song. Really solid opening song.
Oh yeah. All right, moving on.
David.
To number 4, Engage Kiss.
Oh,
Engage Kiss, based off of a manga, shonen manga, and is now adapted into an anime. It's also, I think this is one of those anime shows where it's like a simultaneous release.
Yeah.
Right. Just like, what was that show we talked about? Like
Scarlet Nexus was one that had
Scarlet
like a video
Nexus. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the only one that we talked about that was like that.
Yeah, I think it is
before.
Yeah.
So, and this is animated by A1 Pictures, which A1 Pictures always, I mean, from what I've seen, A1 Pictures, they always knock it out of the park with their animation. So Engage Kiss is about, it's like, I'm still, the world itself from just from episode 1, you don't really understand a whole lot of it, but essentially there's this world where there are demons. They're classified based on their strength and level of destruction. And our main character is like this guy who's like kind of aloof and he's lazy and he doesn't really play things by the book. And he tries to cut corners wherever possible. And it's kind of confusing, but eventually in the episode we get to a point where we understand that, okay, so there's like this virtual auction hall where people from different agencies can come in. They're given a mission, and it's like the cheapest auction, the cheapest bet gets the mission, and if they successfully complete it, they get the money. And so our main guy, he goes really, really low with an auction. They get the mission, they go into it, and he lives with, where we find out she's a demon. He lives with a demon, and she's kind of like, I guess, like a succubus. Because in order for her to get to her full power, he has to fucking tongue the shit out of this succubus. And when I say tongue the shit out, I mean A1 Pictures put some peak ass animation on that tongue action and the saliva dripping down her mouth because it was like a good 2 seconds of just tonguing real good. So he got to get the tongue. He got to. Oh, this is funny. I when I first saw that, I died. I was like, "Holy shit, yo!" This. But when
David explain every show.
Yeah,
I'm
loving it.
When she gets tongued down, she powers up. She goes Super Saiyan 3 almost, and she is able to, basically one-shot people. And there's some things with the show. It's kind of corny. It's kind of cringy because it's like, I feel like there's like some really heavy anime tropes that they dive into in this show from what I've seen so far, of like just like the over the top episode 1, yeah, like just like the over the top
one, I think, unless you watched it.
I've only seen episode 1. I'm just saying, like, from this first episode, it just seems like it's going to be very tropey. But the whole like final 10 minutes of the show is just insane action, and A1 Pictures went all in this first episode with the animation. I thought was wild. So yeah, so I enjoyed it. I thought the music was really good too. I can't remember if this was where they showed the opening song in the end for the very first episode. And I didn't look up the ending song. But I I remembered enjoying the opening song. So yeah. So what'd you boys think? Overall I like the show a lot, but I think Jerry fucking hated it. So
what did Kenny think? I'm kind of curious what Kenny thought.
This show is a dirty portrayal of a male fantasy that allows neckbeards to think that somehow two very, very excellent,
incredibly attractive women. They're both like, one's the greatest demon, one like leads her own army task force, and they both want to fuck the ever loving shit out of this loser, this absolute fucking loser.
Doesn't even cut his hair. Like, he
doesn't have a job.
It is so fucking idiotic.
I thought for sure when he got to the fight, he was gonna like be a good fighter. Not even that. He had to kiss that girl and make her fight for him. This show's garbage.
She is fucking stand. Like, I just don't understand this. Yeah, neckbeards, watch this show. Okay, that's what you got. Okay.
I guess I'm a fucking neckbeard.
I think the issue with this show really boils down to the plot. I guess is fine. You've got this loser. He lives with a devil or a demon, and they fight demons together. That's fine. I guess it's a fine setup. I just felt like it was scripted really fucking bad. Like, they just said things that people don't say. They just, like, the words that came out of their mouth just weren't words.
But my favorite line so far this season.
What did he say?
Fuck, what was it? A Class C demon has... what was it?
I hated that.
A Class C demon has nothing against a Class B demon.
They just say nothing. The words that they kept saying were not even words that humans say. Like, 3/4 of this episode was, like, so much moseying, too. Like, there was, like, long shots of her, like, making fucking food in the dark after he just went and ate with his other girlfriend. I guess he has two, which he shouldn't. And then he, like, logs into the fucking metaverse to like, fucking buy... What the fuck was that?
Or like, I don't even know.
Yeah. He just kind of like logs in the metaverse. Also,
he put on metaverse by
hated when she took that picture and put it on Instagram and she got like 2 likes. Do you remember that? They're like in the bed.
No, she got 1 like.
1 like. It was him.
It's my one follower.
Yeah, one follower.
Oh my god, this was garbage dialogue. It was just
bad,
on a conceptual level. Maybe this show isn't that bad. It's kind of a cool shonen premise. You've got a guy and a girl.
It's like a weird Darling
they kiss.
In the Franxx.
Yeah, it's got sort of almost like a To Love Ru and like sort of the same.
Yeah.
There's some of that vibe in there, but like it just was written so bad. How did it get written this bad?
What was this goddamn show? I don't know.
Why was it written this poorly?
It was super. I will. Yeah. So the honestly, like I did not like this show until the action sequences in the end.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
Maybe if someone had just watched the last scene, it's like the last 4 or 5 minutes of this episode.
I just didn't like the show, dude.
I didn't like the plot.
When
or like
3/4 of it was shit stuff.
But the combat was pretty fire.
The art and animation was actually pretty good, I guess. I mean, I can't really down it. It looked good. A1 did a pretty good job on that. The music as well was all pretty well done. I just think this was rough to watch. It doesn't mean that it made it any better. Kind of like, what did we watch? Bubble, that was just beautiful, but like this was This was less beautiful than Bubble to me, but
Bubble was much better looking than this.
But all I'm saying is, for a TV anime,
it still looked good.
This was still pretty well done on like an art, animation, and action level. So maybe someone can get some joy from that. And again, there's like a conceptual level that I kind of think maybe this could be okay, but really was not for me. So.
No, yeah, I just think it permeates the shitty neckbeard lifestyle of believing that you're
it's
just
power
gonna wake
fantasy.
up and, it's the power fantasy that is, just all you got to do is lay and eat ramen, and 2 hot girls will be knocking at your door.
Anime loves to propel these absolute like terrible. There's wait, was there another show this season that had a terrible protagonist like that? Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about one actually a little bit.
Ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, my stepmom's daughter is my ex. Oh my god, yeah, he's worse than this guy. In my opinion. Engaged Kiss guy was pretty rough, but stepmom's daughter guy.
That guy is worse.
That guy's a ball of something. But yeah, anime loves to purport these characters because they're these guys that go home and they're like, "That's me. That guy's just like me. I love him because he's just like me." And I just don't know if we need more shows to feed those guys. Like, I don't know if those guys need
women
that.
in reality want guys like that.
Yeah,
I'd assume like no one wants a guy that's just a piece of shit.
Yeah.
I'm about to say I want the Shoujo boys. Okay,
Yes.
We're the Shoujo
Where are the
boys.
Shoujo Kings?
Yeah,
we need some
goddamn,
fucking Shoujo Kings.
They roll
Great.
up, they fucking slay the demons. They are fucking hot as hell. Like, come on.
Opening and ending on this show, I'll say that the opening was okay, but a little bit below mid to me. It was kind of a 4 out of 10. They just used a lot of clips from the show.
Okay, 4 out of 10 is not okay.
5 out of 10 is literally the middle. So 4 out of 10 is one below the middle. That's like
you
that's
said it was
okay.
like I thought it was okay. I thought you were gonna give like a 6.
To me, an
You were
okay is
like,
no.
I think you're
4.
over. You're a 5 out of 10 is like that's okay. So 4 out of 10 is like it's okay. You know,
Okay.
Jerry,
Wait, what's 6?
in David's 1 to 10 scale,
What's
only
7?
5.
7 is
through
like
10
it's good. 7's like it's good.
What's 9?
Oh, and 9 is like that was great. That was great.
What's 10? What's 10?
And if it's 10, you're like, oh baby, that was a fucking opening song. Did you guys see that shit? No, that's,
Yeah.
okay, I just needed the whole scale.
that's
So I
the scale.
understand
So
that.
now you gotta know. So this show,
Scale.
that's okay.
Scale.
That's okay.
Right.
Okay.
Colors
Okay.
by Flow, 10 out of 10.
10 out of, oh my god, did you guys see fucking Colors by Flow? That's how you watch. Okay, this show, it was okay. The opening, I think the reason I didn't like it as much, it actually, a lot of clips from the first episode were like, they just reused the animation in the intro. That always kind of throws me off. I like it when the animation for the intros are their own,
unique.
Yeah, their own animation. I just don't see any reason to like make a clip show out of your opening. Which another show was much worse that did that.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Lucifer, we'll talk about it later. Lucifer literally was, they like stuck this ring filter over just clips from the show, which was such a garbage choice. Whatever, we'll get to that. And also that both the opening and the ending for the show were literally like that weird like nightcore. It was like, you know, like multiple layer female vocals nightcore shit. I don't know if that's just popular right now. I like the ending.
Opening bullshit.
I like the ending a little bit better, so I gave it a 5 out of 10.
It's okay.
Yeah,
It's okay.
I think I also liked that the ending had a lot of original animation. It had this sort of like social media theme to it. It showed like a lot of like bubbles and clicks, which makes me believe that later in the show, the whole metaverse thing that he like jumps into to bid probably becomes a bigger part of the plot, because the ending had like so many references to it.
Yeah, and then I bet his yandere succubus girlfriend makes an OnlyFans account.
Oh
and
yeah,
that's how they end up
I
making
forgot
money.
the Instagram. The Instagram was literally a plot point. So there's got to be something else there. But they were both just okay. Other thoughts, guys?
Thumbs. I'm ready for the thumbs, bro.
I'm ready for the thumbs.
Count us
3,
down,
2, 1.
Oh yeah, David, kind of.
Thumbs down, David. David.
Look, sometimes you gotta watch hot fucking garbage, okay?
Oh
and sometimes you gotta look forward to watching that hot garbage, okay?
As long as you're having a good time, that's all that matters. But I'm not watching the show.
All right, Kenny, you ready?
What's the next one?
What's next?
The next one is My Stepmom's Daughter is My Ex.
Oh, we're getting right into it, Kenny.
Getting right into it, Kenny. Speaking of which, this was originally a novel series, then a light novel series, then adapted to a manga. Now it is a animated series that is being adapted by Project Number 9.
Cool.
So, Kenny, tell us about first episode of My Stepmom's Daughter is My Ex.
Okay, guys. First of all, the main guy is just like a asshole, I guess. Like, he's just like, I'm just gonna pretend like nothing exists and nobody is there. And then so they're like, the episode like starts where they're just like acting like their brother and sister.
Yeah.
And then they're like, then their parents leave and they're like, we will never tell them about how we used to. And then we get like flashbacks and he's like, you were such a nerd. And this fucking show just is so bad. I just hated it so much. And then like they did this weird sexual thing. And then they like were falling. So like they start fighting or whatever. And then one of them gets upset at the other one. And then they decide that the older, whatever, like one of them messes up, the other one becomes the older brother or older sister. Because also they're born on the same day and their parents got married and they're now moving in together and they used to date. That's pretty fucking weird. I got to be upfront.
There's a lot of fucking coincidences.
I was imagining me in this predicament, and I have to admit that'd be pretty fucking weird.
That's a lot of
big time
coincidences.
Weird shit going on. Okay,
but they've also like known each other forever. Like it's implied that they've been friends or like known each other for a long time, and forever. Obviously that they dated at some point.
Yeah, so then they like are fighting over One-chan, Oni-chan, And then she's like, I'm going to get him. I'm going to go out there in a towel and get him like his sexually repressed little penis hard, I guess. And then they like fall like this.
Honestly,
and
it
then
worked.
Somehow,
She got him.
Wait, yeah. How did that happen, Kitty? I watched that. I was like, how did they 180?
In this direction, couch here, okay? And somehow how they landed was like that.
Yeah.
Flipped other way around.
He
Okay?
grabbed her and flipped her around. That's
Yeah.
Let me just tell you how physics works, okay, guys? That's not how it does.
He fucking
sumo-plexed
her onto the.
And then they decide, like, I guess let's just fucking make out.
Honestly,
let's do it.
He was like, okay, yeah, let's just bone, dude.
Yeah,
He
let's
was
just
like,
fucking
oh,
do it.
yeah.
But then their parents get home, and then they stop doing it, and then they go to school, and everybody is like, you guys are step siblings, but then they're like, wait, you guys are fucking? And then the episode ends. So this is a show for sure.
Hey, McKinney, did you love the scene though when I can't remember her name, but she walked up at school and like grabbed his arm and like rubbed her tit against him. And the guys were like, I thought he was your brother. And she was like, I guess I have a brother complex.
I was like,
what the fuck?
Yeah, that was some crazy.
Like, what?
Okay.
This is my face. This is my face the whole time watching that show.
Somebody said, hey, this is really popular on Pornhub. We should just make an anime about it.
What?
Stepbrother.
I don't know. I don't know what to say about this show, dude.
Oh, wait. We have to watch the rest of this show and see if she ever gets stuck.
Oh.
Stepbrother, help me out.
Wait.
Help me, stepbrother. If it happens,
it's gotta happen. It definitely happens.
Please,
There's no way around it. That's definitely one of the episodes.
Please. Oh, my God. Otherwise, it's a missed opportunity.
This premise was giving me anxiety the entire time. I'm not gonna lie.
Here's what I gotta give the voice actors some cred for. Both of the like situations that so specifically the Oni-chan argument that led to her trying to bait him and then he got upset, and the whole walk in with the towel, land in the couch moment. The voice actors actually did such a good job that there was some like palpable like uncomfortability that I was like, oh, this is weird. I was like, this show is animated. It looks like an early 2000s harem because the art is just terrible for some reason. But like the scripting and the delivery was kind of given like almost like Oshimi vibes or like some sort of darker, much more horny show underneath. You know what I mean? Like, I think there's like a way hornier show underneath this show, which is kind of like maybe because this was based off a light novel, right?
Yep. It was very horny.
I feel like unfortunately the art, animation, and the works of it are actually like kind of doing a disservice to what the actual writing of it was. And I think that if it was done, if we had a whole different animation director, a whole different animator, a whole different art designer, I think someone could lift this script and actually make it something watchable. I just don't think this team did that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that this group of people made this into something watchable. But I think if you just look at it like on a pure, like, I will say the voice actors, I thought actually did a really good job. But on some weird level below there was like something kind of cool about it. But there was just way too many coincidences.
Oh my God, yeah, the big coincidence chain was just, oh man,
that was pretty unbearable.
Like, how do the parents not know that they dated? Like, I guess they obviously didn't date for long enough for them to meet each other's parents.
But that's so weird because they definitely mentioned that they were like friends all the way back in like early middle school or something. So like, I don't know.
Yeah, the parents have had to have met them at least once before.
What
if know that they're like together.
Really, what I understand?
Yeah, that's true.
Like, if his mom and her dad, or his dad and her mom were seeing each other, they would have like known each other. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
There's too much. There's too much to lead us to this point that they just didn't care about. But again, out of context, those two scenes I actually thought were kind of cool. But everything else was pretty tough.
Except for the full flip. I mean, that just made no sense.
Kind of difficult to figure out how that happened, but I don't know.
Gravity magic, maybe? I don't know.
So opening and ending wise, I hated the opening. I gave it a 2 out of 10.
I hated the opening.
I really hated the opening.
Really terrible opening, honestly.
The ending was better. I gave it a 5 out of 10. I just felt like it was super standard.
I skipped it.
I actually felt like the ending maybe could have been a better opening song for the show, which I was like, well, that would have been interesting. But overall, pretty garbage music choices. Okay.
Okay, what's next? Oh,
Other
wait.
thoughts, boys?
Oh, sorry. No?
Do you feel convicted with your Stepmom's Daughter X?
For some reason, like before this show came out, I was like excited. Not really excited, but I
No,
was
you
looking
weren't.
forward.
Don't say
to
that word again.
No, I was like,
David,
I was
what were you
curious.
excited about?
I was
My
just curious.
Stepmom's Daughter's my
like,
ex. He was excited about it.
I was very curious with such a ridiculous title, just like with girlfriend, the guy that has 5 girlfriends. Like
Yeah.
I was like curious about what the show was going to be about, and to my non-surprise, it's exactly what I thought it was going to be. So,
It's weird.
yeah,
They actually revealed the plot in the title.
yeah, it's actually wild that shows do that now.
It's just what they
so
do. That's just what they do.
yeah, but this show, I was
Kenny, count us in.
felt uncomfortable.
3, 2, 1.
But I'm gonna keep watching it though. So.
Oh
David,
my god!
just
Oh my god! He
Flip that
did not-
thumb the other direction.
Boo!
I will never watch this show ever again.
Dude, you're such a slimy little. He just slimed you up. Kenny, he fucking
Slime.
slimed you
I got
up.
slime.
Fucking slimed.
All right, Jerry, you ready?
Yeah, what's next?
Lucifer and the Biscuit Hammer. Originally a manga, seinen manga, and is now adapted into an anime TV series done by Naz Studio,
Never.
which they've also done. My first girlfriend is a gal.
Oh,
I don't know. I don't recognize any of these shows.
We know that one.
But
I
yeah,
think I watched Chase watch the whole thing.
Yeah, Chase watched it once in
my
the Discord. So Lucifer and the Biscuit Hammer. Guy wakes up. There's a Komodo dragon in his bed. Tells him he's developed psychic powers. He throws the Komodo dragon out the window. The Komodo dragon keeps coming back. He's like, "No, fuck this shit. I don't want to save the world." He starts to actually have some fun with his psychic powers. He suddenly gets attacked by a creepy monster. A princess appears. The princess appears, which also happens to be his next door neighbor. And yeah, then he beats the monster. They beat the monster. They go home. He still hasn't really accepted that he's going to be the hero, but then he sees the giant hammer in the sky that's going to like obliterate the world. And once he sees it, he's kind of like, and the Komodo dragon and the princess girl and him are going to have to fight it. But he mentions that there are probably other people that have psychic powers now that are going to have to fight as well. And he also attempted to use his psychic powers to upskirt his teacher, which I thought was pretty wild.
Yep.
That was a pretty wild choice for the character.
I was like, why the fuck are you trying to do that?
Well, I think, I do think one of the princess, because the teacher is like the princess.
I forgot we found out.
Obviously, I would say that one of the princess's knights would probably be her sister's husband.
Yeah. So that's where we're at with the show. Man, I don't know, guys.
Jerry, what's your impression? I want to hear what you have to say.
I want to hear your.
It was animated incredibly poorly, which I thought was really weird.
I would say that
it just felt super low budget from the start. The voice work and some of the other stuff, fine. It was paced okay. I actually think I don't know, this is one of those shows where I think maybe it's better as a manga. Like I just immediately got that feeling like there's just enough context there that might actually be kind of funny or fun that maybe as a manga, especially because it almost had like a brooding or like serious tone, which is not what I expect from sort of like woke up with fantasy powers setting. And I think that little bit of twist kind of caught me off guard. So I was like, what's going on? And then he he's kind of not a good guy, to be honest.
Yep.
And I think
he's kind of a scumbag.
I kind of like that just because it's not really like a twist because we've had like not good guy heroes, but I just thought there was enough dynamic there that I was kind of interested, but the show just looked so bad. I mean, I just don't know how else to put it. It just looked bad. And, it was an art and an animation issue, and I get it that the manga has a unique style, which is pretty kind of difficult to replicate, but the animation studio just poorly replicated it, to be honest. And because that everything looked really stale and stagnant, the colors were really like almost like it looked like they almost went through like a sepia filter. Like the colors just looked really wonky.
Yeah.
Just a lot of weird things that it took me out of it completely. Like it was tough to even focus. I felt like the content was not bad, but it I don't know. It just didn't really like grip me or pull me in enough. I don't know.
I felt the same way.
Yeah.
It just seemed like lackluster. Like watching the show, it just felt like I was like losing interest as the episode was going on. And I was like looking forward to watching it. I've heard good things about the manga. The manga is like, it's like, well, for my manga people out there, it's like hella out of print. And I've been looking at collecting the manga physically, but it's really expensive and hard to get. And so, you know, I was like, okay, so maybe that means like it's good, you know, and maybe that means that, you know, I'm happy that it's animated now, so I'm excited to watch the anime. But and maybe it's just like the beginning is weak. Maybe it gets much better as it goes on.
I'm telling you,
But
I think there was a plot there that actually doesn't.
the overall plot is interesting.
I bet this is a manga's better type situation where this is just a piss poor adaptation. That's just the first vibe I got. Yeah,
maybe so, but I do want to say I actually really, really liked this as a first episode, like content and story wise, and I really liked that. Like initially, he said no, and then he maintained that until like, and I felt like the princess gave like a really, really good speech. She jumped off the building, risked her life, and said, "Listen, follow me." And he said, "Okay, I get it." You know.
Yep.
Like it finally actually took something and not just. I don't know. It feels almost, especially in Isekai, it just sort of feels like, oh, I guess I am just the hero now.
Yeah.
You know,
a lot of that.
Like he was like apprehensive to it at first.
Yeah, he was apprehensive until he was convinced otherwise. It wasn't like he just sort of like said yes. Like imagine you're playing a JRPG and you're just like, "Would you save the world?" And you're just like, "Yes" or "No," and it's like, "Are you sure?"
Yeah.
He was like.
This is like a pretty common storytelling trope where you take like a really overutilized story. You know, it's like something that's been happening in superheroes a lot recently, right? Is superheroes, but they're actually bad guys, you know, or they're not good people. So this is the same thing. It kind of takes the fantasy. You know, we have so many shonen manga and anime that the character just sort of wakes up with superpowers or something, you know.
Yep.
Something that has transformed them and changed them. So it was interesting that the character didn't react. They didn't react the way that we're so used to. And yeah, I'm there with you, Kenny, that I think there was something here. And I think that's why I immediately was like, I bet the manga's better. That was, I mean,
maybe
just because. And the pacing was actually pretty good for the episode.
I think the pacing was perfect. I think what was covered was pretty much. I bet that was the first chapter, though.
Yeah, it was probably the first chapter, just adapted over that. I just think it looked bad. And it just throws me out of it when a show just. It's like with Tokyo Revengers. Tokyo Revengers was great.
Yeah,
I love Tokyo Revengers. I think the early parts of the story were really great, and there was enough story each episode to keep me going. But I constantly would watch those episodes and be like, "Oh my god."
Man, that shit on
he's got shit on his head, or you know, there just were so many garbage-looking shots that I constantly would get torn out of the story because I feel like Lucifer might be getting the same treatment, which sucks because this manga came out quite a long time ago, and it's only just now getting adapted. And I think a lot of people were hopeful this was like a passion project. Someone was really throwing all their weight behind it, but it literally feels like a company. To me, this episode felt like a company got handed the project and they aren't even that excited about it, and they were just like, yeah, I guess we'll adapt it. You know what I mean? Like that was the vibe I got from this episode. Was like, it was like a group of people that were just like, okay, let's try our best. You know, we're not a big fan of the property or something. But I don't know. Maybe they just didn't have a lot of money. That's another thought. It's like maybe the studio just didn't have. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean it's project number 9, and not project number. It's Naz, and like just looking at their what's the word, their resume, it just looks like they worked on just like a lot of shit stuff. So it's like it just kind of seems like, just based off the animation studio alone, like it was kind of set up for it to not be amazingly animated, you know.
Right.
So
sad.
And looking at the director has their own Wikipedia page, but also looking at what they've directed, I don't know any of this shit. So, I guess Don't Hurt Me, My Healer, Duel Masters movie, Cardcaptor Sakura. But I mean, like, a lot of stuff that's not known for its animation.
Yeah,
you know?
For sure. Damn. Yeah.
So
I hate to say it, but yeah, I just think the team behind this is kind of, it sucks because there's a good story in there, I think. And
It
I don't
seemed
know.
interesting, at least. Maybe I'll
Yeah.
just read them all.
I think we all probably just. I'm like, I might read the manga too. I like the episode
Yeah,
enough
yeah.
to go. I think I might read the manga, which
Yeah.
I could see myself doing now. But opening and ending
okay.
song, really quickly. I gave the opening a 6 out of 10, and to be honest with you, probably should be lower because the animation and the whole thing was garbage. It literally was like a ring filter on top of shots from like the first episode.
Yeah.
But the song was actually kind of really good. I kind of really like the song.
I like the song a
The
lot.
song actually kind of
choice is
pulled
really
the
good.
it kind of pulled the weight for the opening song. That's why I got a 6 out of 10 for me. Same thing for the ending, but I felt the song was a little weaker. The visuals of the ending were literally dumb. It was like pictures of their faces slowly going upwards as the credits rolled up into space where the hammer was. That was the ending songs. It literally felt like a credits roll, which is pretty rough when you have like an animated ending like that to just do like a credits roll. But I thought the song again was also good. Yeah, so I gave it a 5 out of 10 for the ending song, which is those are both pretty high scores, but it was mainly just because the music for both the opening and ending were actually pretty good. So
Yeah.
the music carried on that show. Okay, David, next show. Or oh shit,
All right.
3, 2, 1.
Oh,
I'm gonna go side. Yep. Oh, look at that. Unanimously, we all went side thumb. We think we might need
Went
a couple
side.
more episodes.
all right. So we
Unanimous.
are now officially halfway through.
Yep.
So we are on show number 7. So next up is Lycoris Recoil. And for all you listeners out there, I'm like 99% confident it is pronounced Lycoris Recoil because in the Japanese dub, my ear heard licorice, not Lycoris, as it is phonetically spelled.
It looks like Lycoris to me, but
Well, it's fucking licorice.
David kept saying licorice, so.
Licorice, I guess.
All right, David, run us through the
the hiragana is licorice. So licorice, bitch. All right. So Lycoris Recoil is another mixed media project, another Japanese mixed media project. It is anime original, and it's coming with a manga. It's coming with a light novel. I don't think it's coming with like
or something too, right? Or no?
Yeah, I don't think it's coming with any like video game, but I think it's just light novel, manga, anime.
Right.
But the manga and the light novel are coming out later this year.
Cool.
So, and this is also done by A1 Pictures, which is kind of funny because they're doing the other mixed media season.
Yeah.
But I like this show much more than Engaged Kiss. So Lycoris Recoil is basically picture just normal Japan, but there's like bad people are out doing shit like terrorist like activities, and the government sends out these they happen to be little girls. Back up a little bit. Not little girls, but they're like teenagers, teenage girls, and they are trained to go in and like shoot the bad guys, save hostages, protect people, do a lot of shit undercover, and so they're not really in the public eye. And we see in the very beginning of the show that I think the main character name is Takino Inoue girl.
I don't remember either of their names, to be honest.
Yeah. Okay, so
I remember very few names from this season.
Yeah.
All right, so you got main girl who's like kind of tsundere. She's got long black hair. She's like, whatever. I don't play by the rules. I do my own bullshit. I kill who I got to kill to, for the greater good.
Right.
And because of that bullshit, she gets fired from being, from working for the government. They fire her. She's like, shit.
Don't they call them licorices or something?
Yeah.
I think they're called licorices or something like that.
Like, they're licorice agents.
Yeah.
So she gets removed from that task force to be assigned to a different group, and the different group that she works with. There's only one other licorice agent. She's like super bubbly. She's like super opposite of the main girl, and they get their first assignment, and they're out, and tsundere girl like shoots the bad guys when she sees them. But good bubbly licorice girl is like, hey, what the fuck, yo? Don't be shooting people. And she does all this cool shit. There's like a really cool action scene where she's like doing 1v6 and she's shooting all these bad guys in the head, but these bullets are non-lethal. They just all pass out. And tsundere girl is like, wait, what the fuck? You're not killing people? So kind of funny because it's kind of like a possible dialogue on cops in America. But anyway, so we see this happen, and so the main reason why wait, I'm getting my story mixed up. Let me back a little bit.
They do the mission. They do the mission. They go back to the place and they talk to the guy about why they both ended up there.
Yep, thank you, Jerry.
Yes.
And then that's all in episode 1.
That's so when they talk to the guy and the girl that run the like odd job shop or whatever.
Yeah. I was thinking back to the main mission was a girl comes to them. She's like, people are stalking me. I posted this photo, and I don't know why they're stalking me. And the 2 agents look at it as like, oh, there's a fucking gun deal happening in the back of your photo.
Mm-hmm.
And so the guys kidnap her because Sunday Girl was using her as bait, and then they go on this mission. They save her, and they put all the bad guys in prison or whatever.
Yes.
Happy ever after.
David, what'd you think?
So I liked it.
Kenny,
good show.
Where were you on this?
I played the 5th on this one.
You didn't like it?
He didn't watch this one either. No, I'm just.
No, this one was just so. It was like, I just couldn't suspend my disbelief. Okay, why are teenage Japanese schoolgirls like gunning down terrorists with a minigun? Like, I don't.
It definitely tried to walk the line between like, there's no like obvious fantasy aspects of the show, but it definitely tried to like convince us that Japanese schoolgirls that don't look any different than normal Japanese schoolgirls could also be like highly trained super assassins, which is like you do have to kind of suspend yourself because it seems like the things they're stopping are just like normal ass things, like things. There doesn't seem to be any sort of like supernatural thing at play.
Yeah. And the main character was all about just killing everyone, so I was kind of like also kind of not into that.
They're doing like this juxtaposed thing where like the blonde girl is like, "Don't kill," and the brown or the black-haired girl's like, "Kill everyone." And they're both
It's like Spider-Man and Deadpool.
They're gonna have to learn lessons from each other. I think that's my guess.
Is it similar to the 2 main characters in Police in a Pod, where maybe one was just like
maybe a little
very serious, and the other one was more easygoing, bubbly?
Kind of reminds me of
this felt like more extreme though.
Well, it kind of reminded me more like that show Other Side Picnic, kind of in the same vein. These 2 girls, they're kind of trapped together. One was sort of the bubbly one, or like the same. It's the same dynamic that Burn the Witch has.
I actually know.
Burn the Witch is a good example.
I actually know the team pairing. It's like whenever Punisher and Spider-Man team up.
Yeah, I mean, I get. Yeah, I mean, this is a classic
one's
like
sort of bubbly,
brooding guy, bubbly guy. That's literally what this is.
Yeah,
pretty classic pairing.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was interesting. I will say that in the intro song, the 2 girls like kick each other in the butt, which is kind of like a weird thing that I noticed. And I'm wondering, like, is there some sort of weird romance thing that's going to be underlying it? I can't tell.
Feet to butt.
Well, you can't kick people in the butt and
no, you can. It just seemed like a weird like flirty thing that they added to the intro song, and I was like, are they flirting or like what are you implying here? I just don't know. It's just like with Other Side Picnic where I was like, is there a Yuri undertone or not? Or even Aquatope of White Sand where it's like it's an original anime. There's nothing to go off of. We're 1 episode in, and I'm like, is this gonna be? I'm like, here we go.
I don't think it'll be a Yuri. I think it'll just be no. I didn't get any.
No Yuri.
I didn't get any Yuri vibes.
They're gonna end up being homies by the end. Is all.
Yeah. I think it'll just be
that's probably
a friendship.
Just homies.
It won't be like fucking what was that skating show?
Skate
the
Infinity. Skate the Infinity. Yeah.
Skating show.
I think
called
at the end
Skate.
of that, I think at the end of that, there's like a 25-minute yaoi section. I believe.
Okay, boys.
Right?
Jesus, we're getting deep. Opening and ending. I'll say opening and ending. The weirdest thing about it was that the opening is just filled with shots of the 2 girls walking. There were like so many shots of them just walking, which I was like, what a weird visual. Like someone just really likes to animate walking because I was like, why is there so many shots of that? The song was fine. I gave it a 5 out of 10. The ending song, on the other hand, I gave a 4 out of 10 because I really hated the vocalist. I just didn't like the vocals on it. Thought the rest of it was fine, but I didn't really like the vocals on the back. So, that's where I was on that one.
All right.
Okay.
Thumbs, are we ready for Lycoris Recoil thumbs?
Thumbs.
Let's thumb.
David, this is your
3,
show.
2, 1.
thumbs down for me. Oh, we're all
Maybe.
split. David said yes.
I don't
Kenny
know.
said
It's
maybe. I
probably
said
These guys
no.
these guys don't fucking know good anime when they see this. Their fucking tastes are so dog
Seven-
shit.
Whoa,
shows in.
David.
Seven shows
You
in.
gotta,
David's
you
pretty
gotta come out with a fucking Hunter x Hunter, fucking Jujutsu
Chill.
Kaisen for these two like fucking anime.
David's
I swear to
pretty much
God.
watching
Yeah,
every show.
Fucking
bro.
normie as.
Yeah.
I just don't think the show is really. I mean, maybe
At least
it could
I
be
watch
fun,
the
but
shows. I don't just be falling
We'll
asleep
see.
during them.
Okay, what's
Yeah.
next?
I'll
David?
watch them. I can
What's
watch them. Okay,
Kenny's
next
next
show
show?
is
Did you
Teppen.
watch something?
Oh,
So
Teppen.
next show is Teppen.
Which I want to say Teppen, I think, was my favorite opening.
Oh, for sure.
Oh yes, Teppen's the best
For
opening.
sure, yes. I ranked it at 8 out of 10, Kenny. I agree.
Teppen adapted. It's originally a manga and is now being adapted
David,
by Studio Drive.
Eating your microphone.
Oh,
he keeps eating his microphone.
It
Kenny.
sounds better when
You need
now
to
he's
pull
getting
it.
too close.
Yeah, you just need to pull it a little bit away from your mouth.
You
Yeah.
just do your little hand like that.
Hey guys, don't fucking tell me how to fucking podcast on my own goddamn podcast, okay? Don't fucking tell me how to do this shit. Y'all been doing shit for years, okay?
Oh my god.
But
Teppen is pretty much the weirdest fucking show.
Yeah, it was
bro, I
weird.
think.
It was weird. It was weird.
First of all, the main character of the show, he's a manager of this hotel. But it's not like a hotel, it's like a dorm house for like a comedy trio girls, which by the way, this year I guess it's no longer just comedy duos, it's comedy trios in the National Comedy Trio competition. And so they're like going through this weird dorm boot camp leading up to it.
Mm-hmm.
And so the main character is just the manager of the hotel. And so he just is, trying to do his best, live his life, but these girls are just fucking up. He just loves muscles. And so they like mess up his statue from a contest that he won whenever he was young. And so the episode is like about three of these girls sort of finding this funny story of this shitty thing they did to the main character of the show. And so then they tell the story about how they broke the statue, and then it's like this weird mystery, and somehow they all sort of just basically don't say that they were dumbasses and broke his statue. They're like, oh, all of these things fell together, that this mystery of how it happened, and but then they pay our main character off with fried chicken, and he's very happy with that. And the episode comes to an end. We meet each of the teams too.
They do just pay him off with chicken, don't they? I forgot about that.
They do.
it's
Yeah.
kind of interesting.
Yeah.
It was a choice for sure. And each of the
Not just
teams
chicken,
were-
but fried chicken.
It was a
Gary.
choice. It
Yeah,
was a
fried
choice.
chicken.
I agree, Ken. It was a choice.
Yeah, one team is like there's an alien.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
One team is really, really rich. They built an entirely different, separate house that they live in on property. One team's our main girls. They all just love each other in school and life and being together.
Mm-hmm.
One team, I don't know. I can't think of the rest of the teams. What are the other? Is there's one that one
Alien,
that like
rich,
ninja,
normal.
right?
Oh yeah.
There's one that's like kind of like fit,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
they're, like also like they think they're hot.
Like bad girls,
There's
right?
another one that has like a country girl,
You're right. I think one's
Oh,
a
yeah,
ninja,
yeah.
Skinny.
Yeah, then one's
like
like ninja.
Konoichi Bullet or something like that.
Yeah, Konoichi Bullet. Weird
My
show.
my,
I
pers-
gotta
my
be
personal
honest.
fave. My personal fave.
Yeah, to me, great opening, incredible. I don't know why, but I
Great
just loved it a lot. The ending song
Best
wasn't
opening.
the ending song wasn't bad though. 6 out of 10. Pretty regular song, and I thought the chibis were kind of cute for the ending song.
Yep.
But
Yep.
I don't really have much to
For the
add other
opening?
than the plot that you just described, Kenny. Like
Yeah, I mean that was the plot. It's cool characters.
the show
Main
looked
character,
fine.
obviously.
I think it's interesting how it looks like. I'm assuming each episode is going to be told from a specific team, and it'll be like a big punchline at the end or whatever. So, and I guess it's giving me like vibes that it's like going to be an idol show. Like they kind of stress that if people don't like your material, you'll get kicked out of the house.
Yeah.
So I wonder if like halfway through the season, once everyone performs at least once, like they'll like kick someone off, and then they'll probably just keep doing that kind of format. I'm not sure, but
I don't know though. Shows like this, I feel like usually we just hold on to every team. Like no teams ever get kicked off.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know.
I don't either.
I thought it was interesting though. I thought it was that was really funny too. I think
it made me
I'm gonna
laugh.
watch
it was really funny.
It
Yeah,
made me laugh. Yeah, I thought the format of it being like, I wonder if the rest of the episodes will follow the same format of like a group telling an extended joke that is like recapping a story, because that's essentially the format of the first episode. Was like our main three girls were telling a joke, and then that was like the plot of the first episode. So I mean, I'm curious.
paid him off for chicken.
It was paid him off in chicken. I gotta be honest. I don't know how I felt about that characterization.
Yeah, me neither. Especially because this is not no manga from like, this manga started in January of 2021.
Yeah,
so this is a very new series.
I guess just fried chicken is but it was like clearly Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to be like that guy. But
wasn't it like design, like KFC design on the bowl that he was holding?
Yeah, it was like red and white with like a vague face on it. Like I'm not saying that it's clear that it was KFC, but it was clear that it was KFC.
I think KFC is pretty popular in Japan though.
That is true.
I mean, it's pretty good fast food chicken.
Yeah, solid chicken.
Yeah.
Solid chicken.
And I know it wasn't Jollibee, who's also red and white, because there was no spaghetti.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Overall, this show, there's not really a lot to say about it. I mean, yeah, the art and animation were whatever. The voice acting was probably the best part. They really did. I thought they were funny, great delivery.
Yuri, bro, can I just be funny for 1 second, bro? That was funny.
It was.
Come on.
He said it was a straight face.
I know he did. I know he did.
There's no spaghetti.
Spaghetti, bro. They forgot the spaghetti. That's how
Christ.
you would have known. They were like, we paid him off with fried chicken and spaghetti. Then you would have known.
Yeah.
God damn it. Yeah, what a show.
Yeah.
I don't have anything else to add. That's it. I mean,
yeah. I will add that Studio Drive did this show, and I love Studio Drive because they did Konosuba.
Oh, cool.
I love Konosuba. So, good job, Studio Drive.
That's actually pretty
cool. Same what David said.
I like the part when they showed the statue and it had like a chicken head and a chicken butt and stuff. Somehow it had just gotten like completely away from what it was. Yeah. I was like, oh, that's pretty funny. Kenny, count us down.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
It's a maybe.
Maybe
I swear to God, these fucking people don't know good fucking anime.
Me and Kenny are both maybes.
This one's like a.
What's next, David?
Jerry, how are you doing on time?
We're doing good. What's next?
What
is how we're doing on time even mean? We can record as long as we want.
Man, you're right. Fuck the rules. Okay, Jerry, you're talking about Yurei Deco, which is an anime original.
A little bit farther, right there.
Which is
stop telling him how to do his podcast. Damn it! Stop telling him how to do his podcast.
On the podcast.
All right, you're talking about Yurei Deco.
Yes,
it's an anime original.
Yes,
done by Studio Science Saru.
Cool, great, fantastic.
Jerry, what do you think about the first episode?
Yes, so Yurei Deco, it's essentially a future world where most people are essentially like jacked into a digital sort of metaverse. People go there with their avatars. That's where the character goes to school. The main character does things like that. They jack in and do all their stuff in there. The main character is starting to have some like glitches in her like nerve gear that everyone is plugged in with, and she starts to notice some unique happenings. Mainly because there's sort of this myth or this legend of a I can't remember what they called it. The
Phantom.
Shadow Phantom, something like that.
Phantom Thief, maybe.
Phantom,
I don't know.
Yeah, no, you're on the right track. So she starts to kind of want to hunt it down, and notices sort of like an inkling of something because of her broken like nerve gear. Chases down this kid. Kid reveals like, oh, I'm not the Phantom Thief, but I can help you find it. They go to sort of like this upside down sort of area, and there's like a phantom monster there, and the episode actually ends as they like confront the person. It looks like a person, not a monster. It looks like a person.
Yeah.
That's kind of the basic plot. It's a very artsy show. It's got a very unique aesthetic style to it.
Super unique.
You're not really gonna
Looks great.
Yeah, it's a good look to it. Not your standard anime look at all. Much more unique character designs, sort of a bubbly, almost cartoony look to it, which you're gonna kind of feel that. Felt like overall, I mean, I guess I like sort of the setup, but it felt a little kiddie to me. I didn't realize that it just kind of felt like a kid's show, where I think it's going to be mostly like Monster of the Week type stuff, as they like kind of fight their way through the metaverse creatures. I wasn't, as much as it was really pretty to look at, I personally wasn't really like bought in as I was watching it. I thought it was just kind of fine. And I think that people that are looking for something kind of bubbly, cute in that area, they want something with a little bit of action, some nice little aesthetic. It's a good show to watch, but that's pretty much all I got. Though I do want to meet there's like a obviously black character that's like in the intro and like on the posters, and like we didn't meet him in the first episode, so I'm like kind of curious to watch more.
Got a big afro.
Yeah, just to meet the like massive afro black character, because I'm like, you just don't see a lot of portrayals of black characters in anime, so to have an anime original with a black character like so prominently featured, it kind of got me curious. So I'm like, should I watch more until I meet him? I don't know, but overall, I was actually kind of just like middle about this show. But boys,
damn, I really love the premise of it. Like it's kind of, it might be like too on the nose, but it's like obviously like dialogue about social media and about like your portrayal of yourself to the world, because everything, it's like the currency is like likes in this world, like hearts points.
Yep.
And you get them by like people like approving things that you do or whatever, or like acknowledging. And you can
spend them on like avatar points. And shit. But the like one application of that we saw in the first episode was like someone who bought sunglasses or something. It was like, you know what I mean? There is some elements.
But we see her like go through a shop of like, oh, I can get these points. Like, oh, I don't have enough to get these. So I'm sure they'll come up a lot throughout the show of like,
and there was that
spending them on stuff.
Yeah.
There's that big line at the opening. Like the whole thing is that there's no crime. Like they're like,
it's like a utopia.
That. There's no crime, which I think means that we're gonna find. I mean, obviously, the invisible guy was stealing from people, so.
Yeah, it's because all the bad people are in this little upside down world or whatever. I think that's what was implied.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and I think they're gonna fight people or monsters that are in that world, trying to seep back into the utopia. That's the way I understood it.
It's almost like I don't know. Maybe everybody were mavericks, and then they are on the fritz or something. And so, let's say a guy would need to be a maverick hunter, and go and stop all the ones that are on the.
You mean like Mega Man and Zero?
Yeah, I was thinking maybe like Mega Man or like Zero. You know, I mean,
I think he's on to something here. This is the new Mega Man. No. I don't know. I mean, I definitely get where you're coming from, David. There is a metaphor there, for sure. There's an extended concept. I just think it felt a little watered down, is the word I would use.
Maybe not a strong first episode, but I think this show has like very strong potential, depending on what they do.
Yeah,
I think it has the potential of being a really good show this season.
Okay.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I definitely am gonna watch this one more. So
opening and ending.
I like the opening. I like the opening song.
I think the opening was good. It was just like, just like Teppen was the most memorable one to me. So
Teppen and Call of Night were the only memorable.
Opening, I gave a 6 out of 10. Yeah. I felt like this one had really nice visuals, but the song was like a little bit offbeat. Not off. I don't know the right word for it. Song just felt like not your standard opening like song for an anime. So, but it could grow on me. That could be like one of those sleeper type songs,
like a misused song. Like you felt like they should have used like a different song.
It's just like you're used to like an anime intro being upbeat or action or fast paced.
Yeah.
This one was like a really slow, like it had some piano bits even. Just kind of a different aesthetic. So, but I was like, maybe that type of track could grow on me. So, and out of the context of the opening, I might have actually liked that song a lot. So, I don't know. Ending song, I gave a 4 out of 10, just because I felt like the visuals were really limited. And overall, the song was just okay. So, 4 out of 10.
Okay.
All right.
What do we have left?
Oh, so next up, with thumbs.
We didn't thumbs.
We got thumbs, Kenny. We got thumb that puppy.
Okay, on 3, 2, 1. I'm gonna actually go side on this one. I might actually watch another one. I was just curious enough to maybe watch some more. So,
all right, next show that we're gonna be talking about, Jerry. Oh, it's my turn.
It's your turn, buddy.
Wait, my turn. Okay. So we're gonna be talking about when will Ayumu make his move. We haven't been like saying like what services these shows are available. They're all available on Crunchyroll except for When Will Ayumu Make His Move, Call the Night, and My Isekai Life. Those
Everything
are
else is
available
Crunchyroll.
on High Dive.
Yeah.
Everything
And
else is Crunchyroll.
you only need to watch 2 of those 3 too on High
Yeah,
Dive,
to be
so.
honest. Yeah.
This is one of those 2.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
in my opinion. So
Yeah, I
when
mean,
will-
I pretty much said My Isekai Life was the worst anime I've ever seen.
Tell us
so.
about When Will Ayumu Make His Move, David. What's
So
that?
When Will Ayumu Make His Move? It was originally a manga series, now adapted into an anime series. This is like, I want to say like our only real like rom-com of the season. I guess you can argue that My Stepmom's Daughter is My Ex is that, but that's just kind of cringe shit. So,
Cringe, romance cringe.
kinda
That's
cringe,
yeah.
So this is a show.
I would say the next one's also a rom-com, but okay.
Yakuza's Guide to Babysitting.
No, you mean Call the Night.
No. The
Oh,
final
oh.
one. Call the Night.
Call the
sorry.
Night has rom-com elements for sure. Actually,
Yeah.
Kenny's kind of right. It's more like supernatural rom-com. It's got supernatural elements.
Yeah.
Too, but
Yeah. But anyway, so this show is about we have 2 main characters. So our boy Ayumu and our girl Yurushi. They are the only 2 members of a shogi club. And Ayumu, he's learning shogi. The only reason why he joined is because he wants to get to know Yurushi more and confess his feelings for her. And Yurushi loves shogi. And in this first episode, we can already tell that they both have feelings for each other. But Ayumu will not make his move, spoilers, until he beats Yurushi in a game of shogi.
mm-hmm.
But Yurushi is really, really good at shogi, so it's looking like it's going to be a long time before that happens. But anyway, in this first episode,
It's looking like a long time.
Looking like a long time.
Eh.
So I've read a good portion of the manga for this series, so I was pretty excited to see it animated. And honestly, I think the first episode was really well done. I'm excited to keep watching it, and they even added a lot of extra content that wasn't in the original manga.
Oh wow.
So I thought it was pretty cool.
Filler, you mean?
I mean, I guess, but it was like so the whole ending scene with him and her actually walking in the rain, that wasn't in the manga.
Really?
Yeah.
So similar to how
I felt
the
that was really
Bound arc
important.
in
I'm really
Bleach.
surprised.
Yeah, it was like a pretty cool scene.
Yeah.
And the manga is kind of like the chapters are really short.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's like
Yeah,
the
you could
chapter.
tell this felt like a couple chapters. I kind of noticed that where
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
split it.
It's very similar to Komi and Dotoyami Miss Nagatoro, how each chapter is kind of like episodic.
Yeah.
So, and I think
This is literally this season's that, to be honest. Like, I hate to say it, but
yes,
But also
and-
the Umbrella one seemed like a chapter. That's so
it
weird.
really did. That's the same way I
yeah.
felt.
So
I
the
wonder
umbrella
if
scene
maybe
is
it
a
was-
chapter, but it stops right before they walk out.
Huh.
So from them
The
actually
whole
walking in the
walk.
rain, that whole scene was not in the original.
So they just extended that scenario a little bit. That's so interesting to me.
Yeah, which I thought it was like a really good addition. It kind of
cute little addition to the scene to give us a little more context.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like whenever they added the bounce to Bleach.
Kenny, quit
which is the best.
Quit
the best
comparing
story.
umbrellas to bounce, damn it. Umbrellas are not bounce. Okay?
Oh shit! Okay,
Everything's
but-
about.
So this is adapted. I didn't mention this. This is adapted by Studio Silverlink, which also adapted Great Jahi. They've done a lot of work, and they're also doing the Maid I Hide recently is Mysterious, which I think is a fall.
No, we were gonna watch it.
Is that late summer?
It's a late summer. Yeah, it's coming out like
Okay.
late
Damn.
July for some reason.
Okay, so they're doing 2 shows in this current season. So I think recently they've been doing really well with their adaptations, and their adaptations aren't really super like
Complex or
like
nothing.
animation heavy, right? It's just a lot of like kind of chill, either slice of life or like cute rom-coms. So, I mean, what they did do, The Greatest Demon Lord is Reborn as a Typical Nobody. So we won't talk about that show. But anyway, I enjoyed watching this. I enjoyed the manga. I like the first episode. It's cute. If you want a good rom-com fix for this season, I would think this would be your show. So,
Yeah.
Boys, anything else to add to that?
I think this format's finally wearing on me. Like this thing that almost started with like Rent a Girlfriend, Kaguya-sama, Komi, Nagatoro, Teasing Master Takagi-san,
Like a harem.
Aharen, girlfriend. It's just like this. It's this dress up darling. It's whatever
like
this.
its own like
It's now its
category
own
of-
thing. Yeah, it's this
Yeah.
very specific male focused rom com that has started to be like very dominant in anime and manga recently. and I think it's it's genuinely like just wearing on me, because as much as this show was fine, I felt like the characters were cute, the designs are cute. You know, I don't know, it was fine, and I think that maybe like removed from the context of me having watched literally all of those other shows, maybe I would have been really excited for Ayumu, but other than that, it just feels like more of the same, and I just think it's really wearing on me, where I'm just like, I just don't know anymore, man. So I don't know. I guess the one thing I did like about this one, I like that she was older than him, which I thought was kind of cute. Because she's kind of got this sort of like this look to her that God, I don't even want to call it what it is, but it's
lolly,
like it's a lolly
look.
Yeah, she's kind of got this lolly look, but she's supposed to be like a senior or whatever. So that was interesting. And the two characters actually seem well characterized. That's, you know what I mean? Like, there was nothing bad about this show. I just don't think there was anything like particularly great about it either. And maybe if it had been animated like Dress Up Darling, it would have blown me away, but it just really didn't. I mean, Dress Up Darling, the only reason it was phenomenal, and I know this because I read the manga, the animation just elevated that show way above what it really was.
And the voice acting. The voice acting was really
just great performances, great directing, great. What they did with that show was they took something that was okay, they made it really, really great. Comey did the same thing. This show is taking something that's okay and just making it okay. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because the show bounded his like confession, I swear to God, if there's a point where he's like, maybe I've been capable of beating her, but I've been losing on purpose because I'm not ready. Because like, I don't know,
No, that sounds like some shit that he might say.
You're just not gonna lose shogi that many times, you know. Like
eventually you're gonna win one, no matter how good they are.
Yeah. I mean, he's like never played. He doesn't even know how to play. So it's like and in the manga, it's kind of interesting because they like teach you like how to play shogi, which I mean, it's basically.
I'm also.
chess, but
now imagine this, Kenny. Imagine one where he does win, and he doesn't feel like he deserved it. You know, like it happened on accident or something. Like something causes it. I feel like that plot point is definitely coming. And he's like, "Oh no, I still can't do it because I didn't deserve that win, or I have to."
She'll be like sick or something.
Yeah, exactly. Like something caused him to win that he just doesn't feel like he earned it. That's a plot point that's definitely coming. Yeah. It just, I don't know. It's just more of that. It's just, and there is an audience for it. That people like this show,
obviously,
and if they're caught up on all the other ones, they might want another something in the similar feelings. This might be a good show for them. So, IDK.
Anything else to add, or are you ready to thumb? Because I think I.
Opening and endings.
So,
gave the opening a 6 out of 10. I just really liked it because the dance sequence.
Yes.
And the ending I gave a 5 out of 10. It was just cute.
We need to do that on TikTok. We need to do the Ayumu dance.
Yeah, I thought the dance. Honestly, without the dance, I wouldn't have been into it as much. But I really liked the dance, so I was like 6 out of 10. But 5 out of 10 for the ending because I just felt like the ending was okay.
It was okay. It was an okay ending.
Just cute. Ready to thumb. David, count us down.
3, 2, 1.
It's actually going to be a thumbs down for me.
I'm just not going to watch it. Okay?
I just don't see myself watching it.
I'm just not going to watch it. I got to be honest to myself.
The reality of it is it's just not something I'm going back to.
Jesus fuck. Okay, all right. So next one, Kenny. Kenny, the Yakuza's Guide to Babysitting. This is originally a manga. It's a seinen manga. Currently still running. And it is now being adapted into an anime by Studio Feel and Studio Gaina.
So our main character is Tatsumi the Immortal, and he is a housewife.
Or it's Sakamoto, or it's what I mean? Or it's
I do think it's pretty. I don't know. Like I liked this show.
You guys ever play the Yakuza games?
Oh yeah.
In the game, the main character ends up watching a little girl too. He like ends up taking care of a little girl.
It is definitely it's a very contrived plot, but like I don't know, it's the same plot from Logan or the same plot from Monsters Inc. or the same plot from, just in like, but yeah, he's like this. Okay, the main guy is a Yakuza, and he's sort of the fixer for this family. He's the first lieutenant, the strongest guy, but he has a tendency to go wild and just kind of beat the shit out of everybody. So the head of the family puts him on basically babysitting and being guard to his daughter. And so then him and his daughter like start to connect and like yeah, it's just about him learning to be more careful and considerate, and it's about her sort of coming out of her shell to other people. So I don't know. I liked this one. I enjoyed it, honestly, but it was, yeah, definitely like there are just tons of animes that are very, very similar to this. I mean, this is fucking A New Hope, or not A New Hope. This is this is Phantom Menace. He's Qui-Gon Jinn. She's Anakin. Okay? Or no, she's Anakin and he's Obi-Wan because he's like the right-hand man.
God damn it.
If the Yakuza guy dies, come on. She's meant to be the chosen one.
Come on.
Do you think well, never mind.
All right, boys. Any other?
I like this though. I liked it. It was I remember watching this and like after it, like I immediately nothing was really memorable from this show. So yeah.
Kenny, why do you think that is? You think you maybe fell asleep during it?
I was
Here's the
awake
thing.
the whole time.
I just, David 100% clicks on every single show and plays them to completion. He does that. I know he does.
Every time.
I actually watched them though. What are you talking about?
That's if somebody had to, somebody put a gun to my head and said, you have to 100% be certain that these things happen. Those things that I said happen. The last thing you said, I don't know.
I would
definitely
not
bet my
be,
life on it. I
wouldn't bet my life on it. I like.
Look, I watched it. See, the show opens with he's got this thing. He walks up with this guy. He's supposed to beat the shit out of him. The blonde hair guy is like, "Yo, what the fuck?" And then he goes to the leader. And the leader's like, "What the fuck, dog? Why you do that?" And he's like, "I have a mission for you. You need responsibility. Take care of my daughter." And he's like, "Fuck, okay." That's it.
That was the whole episode. Actually,
that's the whole episode.
David, wait. That wasn't the whole episode.
That's the whole episode, Kenny.
Because he fell.
Are you ready to thumbs up? You ready to thumbs up? I'm ready to thumbs up.
I gave the opening a 6 out of 10. I actually liked the song a lot, but I didn't like the animation that much. I gave the ending a 5 out of 10. I felt like the song was really good, but it was just pretty much like silhouettes on buildings, which was
Jerry,
I guess
did you just give every single song a 5?
I've given literally only like 3 total.
You
of 5.
chewed him out after the first song. You said it was a 4.
Yeah, you were upset.
Like, literally, I can already think of another.
Everything is 4's 5s, Jerry.
He gave 8 to Teppen. I don't understand.
I gave a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, a 6, a 7, an 8, and
what was the 7 for? What was the 7 for?
The 7 was 7's a number I didn't give. You're right. I missed 7. Did I miss? Wait.
So you
I
lied.
might have given it a 7.
Wow, big liar actually out here, Jeremiah Stinnett, guys.
You spreading fake news?
4, 5, 8, 6, 5, 4, 6, 4, 2, 3, 5, 2, 5, 10, 10, 6, 5, 6, 5, 6, 5. I did 3
Lots
shows.
of 5. I gotta be honest, David's pretty big on the 5s right now.
4. A lot of things were pretty mid as hell. So
big 5.
I didn't give out any. I gave no.
I thought this show was mid as hell.
I gave no 1s. I gave no 4s for some reason. I gave no 7s, and I gave no 9s. I don't know why I gave no 9s. Yeah,
I'm surprised you didn't get called a night of 9.
What do you think?
Because he gave it a 10.
I gave it a perfect score.
He said, I left all the night.
You're gonna talk about Call of Night. You're gonna be so fucking biased.
Oh
my god, Jesus Christ. Okay, I'm ready to thumb.
Yakuza's Guide to Babysitting. 3. Kenny, count us.
1. There we go, boys.
Wow,
Diverse.
Kenny set up. I said maybe, and David actually.
I think
for some reason. This was the one that he was like, no.
Look,
this is only thumbs down this video.
I'm the
only one of this fucking podcast who actually watches anime.
It's because Kenny
I know
he didn't.
It's good. I know it's bad.
This is the one he didn't watch.
Well,
he forgot about the entire scene where the Yakuza guy went to the fucking parent day.
Don't tell him.
He
forgot about the scene
and
they played Red Light, Green Light.
Well, David, there was a wait. There was a
Green Light
character introduced late in the show. Who was this character? A family member of the little girl.
It was the mom.
No,
it was not. It was not his mom.
We met the mom.
Not her mom. It was not her mom. You're one.
Jerry, the next show we're talking about is called Call at Night.
Okay. Okay.
So Call the Night, originally a manga,
Yeah. Tell us about it.
is now an anime series adapted by Studio Leiden Films.
Yeah,
Jerry,
weird-
tell
weird
us about
food.
episode 1 of Call the Night.
Call the Night, 14-year-old Ko Yamori wanders out into the street at night because he's been feeling a little insomniac and a little bit lost in life, especially after a girl admitted his love to her, and he realized that he didn't know if he had feelings, or maybe doesn't know what love is at all. Has sort of had a internal process, ends up being up late a lot. So he's wandering around the street, and as he stops at a vending machine, a woman approaches him, and they kind of start chatting about what it means to be out at night and what nighttime means to them. After kind of a bit of a discussion about it, they kind of meet some other people, and she invites him back to her house. And while they are laid down on her futon as he's trying to go to sleep, she reaches over and sucks the blood out of his neck. And he goes, "What was that?" And she's like, "Oh yeah, I'm a vampire." And he goes, "Well, why did I not turn into a vampire?" And she said, "Well, it's because you only turn into a vampire if you were in love with the vampire that you got your blood sucked by." So Ko says, "Well, that's weird. I really want to learn how to love." And he's like, "So listen, I'm going to try to learn how to fall in love with you so I can become a vampire." And that's how the first episode wraps up. Yes. I really like this. I really like this show. That's all I'm going to say. It was really beautifully directed. Incredible color palettes. Great color palette, some really great dynamic animation shots and art shots. I mean, thinking of the shot of her floating up, thinking of some of the shots where the colors were, even the shot where she first goes to grab his neck and bites it, just some really interesting director choices that makes this a unique adaptation at the very least. Things that are not really present. You know, I've read the manga up through the English release, which is 8 volumes, so about 60 or something chapters, 70 chapters, something like that. And the director really took some liberties, especially when you look at the fact that at nighttime there were all these vibrant colors, but when it showed daytime shots, they really, really washed it out. And I thought what was really interesting is there was one shot that the sun was setting and the colors were starting to peek in, which I thought was really cool. The usage of color and art in this was really great. But what I really appreciate about Call the Night as a manga, the anime really upheld this, is that it's got really, really sharp dialogue. So when the characters are speaking to each other, they sound like real people. And they react like real people would. They make jokes like real people would, and they go back and forth like real people would. And I think that for me, that really sells a slice of life setting like this. This is not like an action. It's a shonen manga, but this is not your typical action, not even really your typical rom-com. It's kind of a blend of all of that. There's some slice of life elements, some rom-com elements, and some battle shonen elements that come in as well. So I think that's what makes this such a unique series. And I genuinely think this episode, between the music, the voice acting, the art, the animation, and as well the way the script was adapted, it really captured the essence of the manga, which I didn't expect. Because Leiden Films is not a company I generally look to as like my... Leiden Films is not the company I go to for good adaptations. They really surprised me with this one. So I'm not sure. Yeah. It must be the people they actually are hiring to work on it. It's very much more an artistic take, which I really appreciate. Because what we learned, especially when talking about Spy Family, is that sometimes your adaptation doesn't have to just be, when you just take the panels and color them in and the characters just move exactly like that, the art, things can look stale, things don't look very fresh. It's when the animation team looks at a panel and is able to really envision what that's going to look like in motion or in different color palettes. And this episode captured that. Ko and Nanasa's voice actors were really great to me. They almost sounded exactly how I imagined them when I was reading the manga, and I think that really just got me really excited. And the delivery of Nanasa's little final monologue about this whole idea that we find ourselves in the night and that sometimes we have to just stay awake until, she said, sometimes we have to stay awake until we feel okay with what happened in the day. And I thought, I don't know why, but I just love that. It feels a little on the nose because it's giving you the theme of the series like in dialogue almost, but it just feels like some shit that someone would say to you, like it's just normal enough that I liked that. And I always have appreciated the blend of supernatural and reality, and this show does that in a really great way. Nothing feels super weird, but the girl's a fucking vampire. You know what I mean? Like, she is. She sucks blood, she floats, she flies, she jumps off the roof. But nothing. It doesn't mean that they all are just acting like people. And I think that's what makes
Mhm.
this sort of stuff really cool. When you take supernatural elements, place them in a really normal setting, it hits every box of stuff I like, which is that it's got a strong theme, it's got great characterizations, it's really beautiful, it's really artsy, and also it's got a really nice through line. There's a nice little like plot and motivation for moving forward. Which the plot is Ko has to learn how to fall in love. He has to learn what it means to be in love in order to become a vampire. So I really like that stuff. I like it's a really clean show. So that's literally all my thoughts. Where'd you guys add it on it?
This one gave me a really questionable physics again. She went 360, or she went 180 flying, holding him like this. She does that, he's out of her hands. Like I don't understand. Like there was no adjustment, no grip adjustment. She just went whoop, and he would have gone straight directly down. I just, that's first question.
She was princess carrying him and just flipped completely in upside down.
Yeah.
He didn't
It was
fall.
just tough. It was tough. It was, that really,
I think that was an artistic choice, Kitty.
But, everything else is pretty good. I actually was really a big fan. I think this show was the only one with like good background music.
Oh,
Like,
it did.
I don't think
The music was really good.
noticeably.
I don't think any other show this season, especially, like had good background music. So it was like I watched the other ones except for Shine, and all of them like just didn't have anything. So it was
Like,
very,
I actually agree.
it
with
was
you, Kenny.
jarring. It was like jarring. I was like,
This
oh,
had
yeah, I forgot,
this had like a really good
animes have background
soundtrack.
music.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Good soundtrack.
I think this was easily the best first episode of the 12 that we've watched this season.
Unquestionably.
I don't know if it was because it was really good or if it was because this competition was very poor.
Right.
But I think this just adapted the first chapter, right?
Yeah, it was just chapter 1.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I echo like Light and Films, to give you all context, is the same studio that adapted Tokyo Revenger,
Yeah.
and that was really bad. And
Prior
so
to
see
that,
them,
they were known for working on Berserk 2016. Like this company is really not one known for high quality animation and artwork.
and they've adapted like a good number of, like they did like the Heroic Legend of Arslan, fuck that show, Boarding School Juliet. So like a lot of like Salaryman's Club, like a lot of shows that are like pretty well known, and like
I like Salaryman's
and
Club.
they're doing Rurouni Kenshin.
Yeah, they just did Bastard on Netflix too, which we're going to talk about in the future.
Yeah, which Bastard is
good.
really well animated.
Yeah, Light Films.
Like,
So I don't know if they're just getting the right teams now and they're just kind of adjusting, but this is a clear departure from their standard look. This show looks way different.
Definitely upgraded.
Yeah. Anything else about Call the Night, boys?
Honestly, it was just.
It fucking sucks. Why is the guy behind High Dive?
Yeah, fucking High Dive.
High Dive.
I wish. We need a whole episode. I hate High Dive, guys.
Fuck High Dive.
Fuck High Dive.
Is a garbage.
Garbage. I hate it.
Why the fuck can I not pause it by pressing the pause button on my goddamn remote? I gotta press like the select button to select the pause button in the service.
I hate it. I hate
bullshit.
High Dive.
I watched on my computer, and do you want to know something crazy?
What?
It doesn't pause with the space bar.
Oh,
you have to click the pause button.
Oh, that makes me want to. That's so brutal.
It makes no sense.
That's so brutal.
YouTube did this 10 fucking years ago.
Yeah, this is the worst. This is the worst like website player possible. They need to upgrade ASAP.
High Dive is garbage.
I told you guys this, but I haven't said it on the podcast. Something I didn't even know is that High Dive was purchased by AMC, like the TV channel AMC. So I think that
are we going to stream Walking Dead soon on
right? It just means that it seems like I bet High Dive might get folded into AMC streaming service at some point, which is something I'm kind of thinking might happen. Additionally, this seems to be the first wave of licenses that AMC funded. So the actual purchase happened back in January. I don't think they had enough time to actually purchase spring shows. This seems to be the first wave of AMC funneled shows. So that's how they were able to score quite a few of the big hitters. I think it's that they just have much more money behind them. And AMC's CEO even like said something like they really feel like anime is a part of the future of the streaming like ethosphere or whatever. He said something like that. And it just, I mean, it's crazy because their player is absolute fucking garbage. But
shit terrible.
They have unquestionably the best new show of the season on their platform right now. And some people might have even argued they had the best new show of last season with your boy Kong Ming. And
Yeah.
Good old Kong mean.
we didn't get to watch it or review it, but a lot of people said that was really the one. And I think that Call of the Night's the show of the season for me. So I loved it.
Yeah.
I gave the opening
far,
gave the opening and the ending a 10 out of 10. 10
You're
out of 10.
fuck. Oh my god.
The
Jesus
best.
Christ.
Honestly, watching Nanasa dance and all the little shots of her, and God,
You fucking simp. You're just
yeah,
simping.
I am absolutely 100% like in love with Nanasa, dude. Like, I cannot get over it. I love her to death. This is like one of the first waifus, other than maybe Yor, who I also I'm deadly in love with Yor. I love Nanasa, and I loved her in the manga. I'm in love with her. She is fantastic, and the opening ending is just so much of her, and it just made me so happy. And the songs were great. The songs are so catchy, so much more poppy than
the songs are actually really good.
really nice, like kind of pop music
are
vibes
actually-
that you don't really get from the other shows this season.
Isn't the opening song like the inspiration of
no.
the title?
What's crazy is they moved it to the ending. The ending song is
Oh,
also
the ending song is called the night.
It's called Call of the Night, and the ending song was actually it came out before the manga even existed. The author actually asked the band if he could use the title of that song for the title of his manga because he felt very inspired by that song when he was writing the initial manga. So it's really cool they used the song. I thought they were going to use it as the opening. They ended up using it as the ending, but the same band did the opening and ending. So they got the band to do a new song for the opening song, which I thought was pretty cool. But they were just so beautiful. Beautifully animated, by the way.
Yeah.
I love the animation, the visuals, the
It
colors.
was just great.
Just great stuff. So, all right, boys. Other thoughts on Call of the Night? Or are we done?
Shit's good. Best show of the season. If you're not watching it, please go watch Call of the Night.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
Thumbs. 3, 2,
Well,
1.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch more.
Y'all
Obviously
know
I love
this
the
one.
manga.
Come on. You know
And
this
David,
one.
and okay, spoilers for the Call of
We
the Night
know this.
manga. Kind of, not really. David, there's
Oh, why are
some
you-
great. I'm not
why are you
spoiling anything.
spoiling?
Chill. I'm not like spoiling it, but I'm just gonna tell you, David, there is some romance between women in this series. So I don't think you knew that. There is some
Wait, vampire women?
vampire Yuri.
Oh,
That's all I'll say. That's all I'll say, David. There is some really fun.
Well, will we see it in season 1?
God, I hope so, because it mostly got fleshed out in volume 8. I don't think we're gonna get all the way there. So I think we're probably gonna end right before the arc that introduces that storyline. That's my guess. There's like a clear in my mind around like volume 7. There's like a clear ending in my mind where I'm like, that would be a great place to like wrap up a season. I think that's probably where they'll end it. If we're just getting 12 or 13 episodes, which I think we're getting 13. So they'll probably do like half a volume every episode, and we'll get through the first 7-ish, 6 to 7-ish.
Okay.
That's
okay.
my guess. That's it, guys. That's the show. So just quickly, this will be really quick. David, what were your top 3? What were your bottom 3?
Oh fuck! I exited all of my tabs. So my top 3.
You should still know.
My handy dandy little. I okay. So when will? Oh no. I need to like look at them all to know. Okay, so I'm gonna be following every week for sure. Call the Night. When will Ayumu make his move? And and Lycoris Recoil. But also shout out Yurei Deco because I'm also going to be watching that show. I really like that show too.
Okay.
Okay.
Bottom 3. Or let's do top 3 first. Kenny, what's your top 3?
My top 3, Yurei Deco, Call the Night, and then maybe Yakuza Babysitter? I don't know. It was just like, yeah, I think Yakuza Babysitter.
Rock and roll. For me,
Yep.
obviously,
Jerry?
Call the Night, Lucifer and the Biscuit Hammer, and then Bakumatsu Bad Boys is probably my 3 that I felt the most
I didn't watch
compelled
that
by.
one, so.
So those are probably my 3 that I'm pulling for. David, bottom 3.
My Isekai Life, fuck that shit. My Stepmom's Daughter is my ex, cringe, and Harem and a Labyrinth in Another World. If I want titties, I'm gonna watch porn. I'm not gonna watch
if I want
Yeah,
titties,
baby.
I'm gonna watch porn. That's a quote right there. I want to make.
I would like to do something that I don't think has ever been done. I would like to say my bottom 3 are the same as David's bottom 3.
Oh, for real? You're just
Identical
gonna copy
bottom
them?
3.
It's a good bottom 3.
Stepdaughters, Harem, and What was the other one?
Isekai Life.
Isekai Life.
Isekai Life.
I will say that my bottom 3 is the same, except I would
No.
swap out Harem for Engage Kiss. I hated Engage Kiss so
It was
much.
bad,
But the
yeah.
other one, Stepmom's Daughter or whatever, and obviously Isekai Life is just so much further below the other two. They're all bottom 3 to me, and honestly, Harem would just barely be above Engage Kiss. So I almost agree with you guys, but I just did not like Engage Kiss so much. But Stepmom's Daughter was just so cringy, and Isekai Life is just so bad.
And I know listeners, I know I thumbs up my Stepmom's Daughter is my ex, but it's because I hate myself. Okay, it's because I hate myself that I'm going to keep watching it. But generally, for those of you who are listening, for these 12, don't watch it. Don't get trapped in the cringe that is that show. But I'm gonna keep watching because I hate myself. But you don't watch it. Don't watch it.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so on that note, guys, wow, there was a lot of shows we didn't get to cover in this episode, obviously. So Futo PI, the maid I hired is mysterious. Uncle from Another World. There's a couple other kind of they're just late bloomers, shows that are coming out a little later. We might talk about their first episodes if we end up watching them. Just depends if I'm gonna watch Uncle at least the first episode. So we'll probably get a little convo about them in a later episode, but obviously won't dedicate another full episode to talking about some of those late bloomers. Additionally, this is really a season of heavy hit returners. We've got Assassination Classroom back. Not Assassination. It's a Classroom of Assassins. What's that show called?
Classroom of the Elite.
Classroom of the Elite. Thank you. Classroom of the Elite's back for another season. Rent-A-Girlfriend's back for another season.
Back.
Don Machi's back for another season. Is it what's the one you just said earlier?
Devil's a part-timer.
Devil's a part-timer is back for another season.
I think Orient Part 2.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot of season 2, season 3, season 4. Overlord season 4.
Overlord. Yeah.
There's a lot of returning shows this season. I think that is mainly and so this makes this even harder for us because most of the big shows this season were returning shows, which are shows we pretty much won't talk about unless there's one that we all watched and we're all going to watch together or decide to have like a full-blown discussion about season 2, which maybe we'll talk about Rag season 2. Maybe.
I'll talk about it.
That's probably the only one that we've all watched because most of the other ones are like isekais or garbage. But for the most part,
I'll watch all of Overlord too. So.
Yeah, so there's some conversation that might happen around some of that, but really, guys, buckle up because fall is going to be scary. There's a lot happening in the fall right now. A lot of things are slotted to potentially come out in the fall, and I think it's going to be a really heavy hitter season. So fall is going to be the season you're really going to want to look forward to. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
That's the summer season. I hope you guys found a show that you might actually want to watch, which it's probably Call the Night. And I hope you guys stick with it and enjoy it throughout the summer season. Boys, you got anything else to add?
Please don't forget to, if you're listening to this on Spotify or any Apple streaming services, or if you're watching this in the video version on YouTube, please, on whatever platform, don't forget to rate us 5 stars, follow us, leave a comment. We love to be engaged with our community, and subscribe and hit the bell notification so you are notified of all of our future episode releases. We try to regularly release on Fridays. We've been really, really good with our last few episodes, and yeah, we like to try to stay consistent. So please follow us, rate us, subscribe to us for all of our future releases. Thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate you. Jerry?
David nailed it.
Get us out, bad boy. Get us out. Get us out.
This has been another episode of the Uncensored Anime Podcast, and we're saying peace.
Peace.